All right, man. We're waiting for the countdown. There's about an 8-second pause, and we should be rolling here. And there it goes. So, hello, everybody. Welcome to Getting Down with Dave, my very first hosted live stream, although I've been around for a while. And tonight, we are going to open up this bad boy right here. If anybody doesn't know, this is the Godzilla Showa-Era. But first, let me bring on a guest. Very, very cool, very nice person. And are you there, Hungry?
I appear to be here.
Yes, you are here. I guess so. Apparently, I've already boomered it. So I forgot to bring you in. I forgot to take you off backstage, put you backstage, then bring you on. So I had two guests.
Skipped. Sorry,
that
Dave.
Man. No. You were off doing your chores, so it's all good.
Oh, I thought I came back, but hey, Dave, well, congratulations.
Yeah. So I already boomered it within the first 40 seconds. Oh, and hail to JT Kirk, who is in the chat. And I think JT, you can come on whenever you feel like it, buddy. I think you have the link as well. So today, guys, we are going to open this thing up. What do you guys think about this Godzilla anyway? Then?
Gorgeous.
Yeah. So before I unwrap it, we'll do the back and explain a little bit. This is the Showa-Era Films from 54 to 75.
Right on.
And this thing is so huge that how do I do the split screen anyway? If you can, I only got you on the side there.
You have to work with the different layout. It's different when I'm.
There we go.
There you go.
Gotcha.
You just got to experiment. There are little different boxes there, and you just got to play around with it. So
yeah,
you can always mute Hungry or hide Hungry because they always like that bottom square for some reason.
Thanks a lot, Bison buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's saying that.
Dweller.
He's seen so few of the damn Godzilla movies. He's gonna make me get muted and disappeared.
Well, it has 15 of them, and I have no idea what this thing looks like inside. It's still semi unwrapped, but just to show everybody in the back, it just has a quick little tutorial, explains about the Godzilla, and then it has 8 Blu-ray special edition collector set features, which I'm really interested. That I really like to hear maybe from some of the directors. Probably Ishiro Honda is the #1 director, Fukada, and a couple of other directors, but Ishiro Honda was the #1 dude there. So shall we get into this, or should we talk Godzilla first a little bit? Who has not seen Godzilla -1, by the way? I'm not going to ask who's seen it. I think it's easier. Oh, let me bring on the other fellow with a very, very good voice in the captain. There he is.
All right.
Hail. Good evening.
Hail.
Wow. Listen to Bates' voice. Yes, JT.
It's so funny when Dad Man introduces
in
me.
Hungary. Oh, yes, this evening.
I'm about 30 minutes into Wrath of Khan, so.
Oh,
are you not watching it in one sitting?
Right now, my schedule's broken up, but I will get the rest of it later.
Okay.
we'll nag him about Wrath of Khan later, JT. But we kaiju fans got to unite tonight.
Exactly.
It's gonna be a roast. And by the way, that would be Wednesday night, right, Dad Man?
Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah, Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, because I don't know how to do the channels and stuff yet.
That's okay. You'll learn with practice. But I tell you what, Godzilla -1 was probably the best. It was the best movie we saw last year.
So
and black and white was even better than color to me.
Agreed.
Yeah, so I'm going to do the unboxing for that beast back there. That's the one with the blue fins. And then I got the 3D poster in as well. So let's start unwrapping this bad boy. What do you think?
Question for you before you start. What is the plural of kaiju? Kaijus?
Kaiju.
Kaijin? Kaiju?
No, it's kaiju. It's like it's like sheep, singular and plural.
Got it. Okay. I knew it wasn't Greek, so I knew it wasn't Kaijuix.
Oh, no. It's absolutely 100% Japanese.
Right. Very
nice.
Those are some beautiful kaiju back there.
Nice.
And kaiju
Yes.
actually, it doesn't necessarily mean giant beast, although that's included. It really just means strange beast or otherworldly beast or something that it goes beyond the ken of our understanding. So, a classic example, JT, for you would be the Horta.
Oh, yes. Yes. Or
The
maybe
Horta
even
would
the
call it.
Gorn. Or maybe even the Gorn the first time out.
I
have a Gorn.
qualify the Gorn. Yeah,
Sure.
definitely. And then the blood-sucking gaseous monster that was the Moby Dick to Kirk's Captain Ahab.
Yeah.
That would be hetero.
But we could go
yes,
on
right?
for a long time, but then we'll never let Dave talk about.
I know exactly. I'm sorry. I've had no sleep once again. I will tend to prattle, but thank you for the.
I love it. I love it.
Well, I appreciate the edification, nonetheless.
Nothing about eggs. But by the way, Dave, what's your channel link? Because I'm trying to find your YouTube channel. So.
Oh, it's the. I thought I sent both of them to you. The.
It's an email. Okay, it's an email. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. I'll just click on my YouTube channel name here, and I guess I probably need to mod you guys, right?
Either
I was
that,
going to say that way we can throw the link there, and
you'll want to put your own link. Copy and paste your link into the chat too. So.
Yeah, I didn't even know how to do my own link into the chat. So for everybody here, this is my first hosting live stream, and I can actually probably do that later, right?
Yeah.
You can do whatever you like. Yeah,
it's sometimes easier to mod after the stream.
I'll mod you guys. I'll mod you guys later, and then so to link the channel, it is youtube.com/@DaveC10. Dave C10. So.
Dave C10. Okay.
Yep. All right,
all
guys.
one word.
What do you think? Time to open her up, I believe, right?
How do you plan to open this? Finger, knife?
I'm going to rip that plastic
okay.
off.
You've already got it started. All right.
Yeah, I'm doing an actual. Oh, okay. So that's a unboxing, unwrapping. This damn thing is so big, man. I have to keep holding it up to keep you guys on screen. So that is just a flyer leaflet. Oh, some good artwork right there.
Oh, that is lovely. That is lovely because that actually reminds me of a lot of the traditional Japanese art from the 1800s.
Yes.
That's cute.
Yes, definitely the Mount Fuji art type style.
And the Wave, which is a classic one that got reprinted all the time in the 70s. We had that on our walls at home. Yeah, that is just I'm really digging the sky. That magenta red. Yay.
Yeah, dude. That is kind of nice. So this is just a little flyer thing.
Now, Hungry, what's the official name for that insert that goes over the back cover when it's wrapped? Is there a specific name for that?
There is, but that's that's not my publication stock and trade. That's more the academic thing.
Sure.
I apologize.
Nice.
I wish I knew, but I don't.
Ooh. This is good. This is good. This is really good. Okay. All right. So here's your splash page cover.
Yes.
So
that's also a nice tribute to the Marvel Comics Godzilla.
Yeah, a little bit, right?
A little bit, not that much, but yeah.
Especially in the foot area.
Yeah, and the upshot, the foreshortening, that is a beautiful piece of art. I greatly appreciate it.
It covers the whole screen. Let me lean back a little bit. This is huge for Nick Weiser out there. Well, you can tell, right? So all right. Now let me go back to the four square.
I didn't realize
the absolute aviation nerd in me is trying to figure out what jet that is supposed to be illustrated in the picture.
I just found out you changed your Twitter handle, Dave. So anyway, I tagged you and retweeted. You changed your Twitter handle, so I had to work to find you. So I tagged you, and it's been retweeted to the great population out there for you, Dave.
Oh yeah, because it had my full name and everything. Dave C, you know what it is. So I had the whole thing on there and in my handle, and I was like, no, wait, I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
I mean everybody knows who I am. I'm not trying to hide from anybody.
No. We'll have to hide you with Hungry's house out in the middle of nowhere.
What with the snakes? Okay.
Yeah. They actually, somebody had a picture or something, and what they captioned it was like a 13-foot alligator, but his whole head was missing. And somebody made a comment, and somebody, big old alligator head, and somebody made a comment, looked like the huntsman spider got a hold of it.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
wow.
And that will be one of the movies we talk about tonight, the introduction of the first giant spider in all of Japanese cinema glory.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Man, I love that. That was in Son of Godzilla.
Son
the
of
first
Godzilla.
time.
My favorite one, I think.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. That's the one I remember the most, where the spider was spraying the web on little Minya and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
So,
oh, yeah.
and there's your spider right there.
Yeah, and you know what? It's one of the rare times where the poster does not lie. The spider is even more ugly and horrifying in the movie. That is one of the most realistic and accurate giant puppets Toho ever made.
Well, you can keep your spiders. You can keep your spiders.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
All right. So
I love him.
An intro and just another splash page, and then an intro by some guy named Steve Rifle. And it's a very lengthy intro. I'm gonna get back up a little bit. Sorry, so everybody can see it. Right?
Very
And
nice.
that goes on for several pages, actually.
Oh, wow. That's good value for money. That's good value for money. You want that info.
My camera a little bit so that can fit in there. And then, then it starts in with each movie, which is really nice. And then you get some really cool art right here.
Yes.
For the original Godzilla. I'll go one on that one so everybody can see it. And that's classic with the Metro there, right? What they would call it, the tri-rail or rail back then.
Yes.
So some of the classic statues will have that piece as an exclusive bonus if I've got my head straight.
No, you got it right. And the original posters when America did its version, right? Because Gojira came out in 1954, and then Godzilla King of the Monsters came out in 1956. And if I have the dates correct, I know 54 was Gojira. But the one thing they cheated with, and I do like the cheat, I think the cheat works on that poster that you just showed.
Yeah.
He was not attacking the skyscraper while he had the train car in his mouth. There were two separate scenes.
It's almost like you want to buy two of these, cut out some of this artwork and put those into like little frames so you can put those on the wall, right?
Oh, yeah.
So we've got 4 likes. That's cool. Thank you so much. And I do have a friend of mine who's trying to get a lot of people to come and watch. His name is Paco. I don't know what his handle will be. So I'm sure he's around or trying to get in. So I have to make sure that he's got all his information rolling so that he can come into the chat and all that kind of stuff too. Yeah. So
fantastic.
So then but a lot of people might forget there is Godzilla Raids again in 55.
1955. I love that movie. I've actually got that on my laptop in the hard drive as we speak. I've seen so many times. A lot of people don't like it, but I don't know why. I adore that one.
It was a little goofy. Is this the one where the guys were on the island? They crashed their plane or something, and they landed on the wall. Yeah. So a lot of people, I guess, they kind of forget about this one, right?
Well, a lot of people haven't seen it. It doesn't get re-released, and it did not get re-released on American or Australian television at all for decades. And this is the first monster mash in Japanese history because we have Anguirus.
Anguirus and Anguirus. There he is. That's Anguirus, right? Hungry?
Yes.
Yeah.
Also known as Anzilla for some reason.
Yeah. But I'm loving the colors on this. The artwork is incredible. I mean, like,
I'm a big fan of white text on black paper. Just from a style standpoint, I love that look always.
Yes.
Oh, dude. Oh, man. I can't read the dates on this. Hungry, you can help me with this one. Now, this is a Japanese import, so guess what's not going to be in these pages as far as I'm thinking correctly here. Help me out with this, guy. Take a
Uh-oh.
wild guess. Which is not that's what I thought. I didn't even think about this till just now because it skipped a whole year in 1956. Guess what's not in here?
The American one.
The American one. This is a
Yeah.
total Japanese import, and it
That's
is
good.
excluded.
No, that's good. But the American one, they cut out 2 scenes that were not appropriate to Americans in the 1950s because of what happened in the war, and but they added Raymond Burr, otherwise known as Perry Mason.
Yep. So, damn, I'm gonna have to go out and get that now, right?
I don't know.
I know I didn't even think about it when it came in. I didn't even notice that it wasn't in there. I just assumed. So, for everybody out there listening, it is not. So that would put us.
The thing is, Dave, if you watch the American one after enjoying the first 1954 Gojira, you're just going to look at the difference in the film quality and the film stock and the way they actually made the scenes, and you're going to laugh because they're so obviously inserted into the movie.
Oh yeah, and like you said, the main guy's well, I was going to say something in Japanese, but that's I won't do that. The white guy, Raymond Burr. So
yes.
Yeah, JT, right? I mean, let's face it, that's what it was. And that's why, well, not that it was an American movie, it wasn't Japanese, right?
No, they took the movie and they basically re-edited it a little bit, added the American scenes, and then released it under an American name.
Right. And that's why, not because just the Raymond Burr, I didn't want it to allude anything like that, but that's why it's not included in here.
Right.
And in fact, trying to get the Blu-ray right now, they've released the Godzilla -1 with this really nice box set. And I almost went to get it, and then I started reading some reviews on it. It's all Japanese, no subtitles.
Uh-oh.
So I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to wait until that gets released officially. And I checked the old Amazon there, and I didn't see anything. They had some generic one, looked like it was a ripoff, so I didn't get it. Yeah, I'll wait till it floods the market. So this one next, and I believe that's going to be. I can't read the dates because my lighting is terrible, and I'm getting old, so my eyesight's not all that great.
It should be King Kong versus Godzilla is the next one, right?
And you are correct. Ding ding ding!
Yeah.
You win a prize. So check that out. Check that artwork out.
Love it.
Let me click to one screen to fit it on for just a second.
Love it.
Yeah, dude. And I'm loving, like, who was saying all the how would you say all this right here? I mean, the people
all
doing
the
not
text.
the reviews, the text. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not great enough on colors to tell you what color that might be, but it's definitely on the black paper, which I just think always makes text pop, and it allows for a wider color variation. I feel like sometimes you try to put that color on white paper, you'll never be able to read it, just because the contrast is not there. So, yeah.
And this is and as far as paper, I didn't mean to cut you off. I wanted to. You made an excellent point because I'm actually trying to do a review and enjoying this at the same time. This paper is high quality. Can you hear that?
It's very obviously high quality. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. No, we can see it. We can see that from here.
Yeah. I mean,
well,
you
know
like
what?
that, it pops. Right?
You can even hear it when you make the little motions with the paper. You can hear the weight of the paper.
And if I had better lighting, you can see the gloss shine off that like that.
Oh, we can see it.
Yeah. I wanted to point out, and I'll do this with the next one. Or any comments on this one?
Oh yeah, I just want to back up what JT was saying, because if you notice, the color in the text on the left is very correspondent to some of the colors of the mountain in the art, and that is what a good artistic director and editor does, because that just makes you zone in to what you're enjoying in the book.
This is very well thought out. The layout so far is excellent. And I think I'll show the next one, unless you have any comments on the King Kong, because of the other one that came out. It's still going on, right?
I only got one
this.
comment about the King Kong versus Godzilla that came out. Number one, I do kind of appreciate the Japanese one a little bit better, but the American version is funny. It's very funny. The dubbing is funny, but that was the first Godzilla film I ever saw back in 1972.
Oh, wow. Nice.
The one you're
Nice.
showing now is what led me to fall in love with the big G. Yes.
Ooh, yeah. And here's one that I think really kicked off for Godzilla, right?
Mm-hmm.
The
Oh,
Mothra.
yeah.
Mothra versus Godzilla. And
That-
this is probably
that film-
a lot of people's favorites, right?
Well, yeah, and it's one of my top 5, nearly top 3. The thing about that movie is it has one of the best introductions of Godzilla in the film. And I'm not doing spoilers. I'm just going to say it is.
That's okay. It's been around a while.
Yeah, it has.
Did we lose Dad Man? Is he still Dad Man?
He's just taken aback by all the I don't know, all the artwork, I guess.
The geekitude, JT. He's taken aback by the geekitude.
We've got Knitted Knee in the chat saying hello to you,
Knitted.
JT.
Melted knee, yes.
Melted Knee?
Hail,
Oh,
melted knee.
how did they know I was a Marine? Devil Dog, hail to you. Melted Knee. Thank you for being here. Thank you a lot. So I wanted to.
I don't want to do a spoiler in case JT will ever watch this movie, but I don't think JT's ever going to watch the original 1962 Godzilla versus Mothra.
I do have the digital version, so
Oh,
may eventually get to it. However, I have not seen this one.
All right. Well, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but the intro of Gojira is fantastic in this one. And also, this is one of the we're getting to the last movies where Godzilla's a bit of a bastard. He becomes a hero very shortly after. It may be right after this. I think it is right after this. But in this film, Gojira is still the threat, JT. He's still the threat. And Mothra is the savior of humanity.
Well, can you sing
You
like
know,
the two little
I have
twins?
seen that movie.
Can you do the song Hungry? Can you do that? See,
I do not have a falsetto voice anymore.
I have seen that movie. It's been probably 15 years. I remember watching it on TV.
Okay.
They do the whole singing like on the island that they're on. And,
Yes.
And then the two little girls come on. Very, very famous, right? And also they put the cast in the credits.
Yeah.
At the bottom of each one. So, but the artwork again, man.
Dave, you have 10 people watching right now on your very first stream. So,
Oh, are you serious?
yeah.
I was stuck on 4. I had to refresh. What's going on here? Holy cow!
You got up to 10 people watching right now, Dave.
And Richard Tuckus, thank you so much. Hello.
10 likes. You got 18 subscribers too now.
Wow.
And this is your first live stream, you mofo.
My first
Yeah.
live stream. Been sweaty.
No pressure.
Sweaty because it's hot. It's Florida, and I have the AC on. By the way.
Oh gosh.
So look at this artwork.
It's a beautiful
again.
Mothra, though.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
It really is.
It's almost again, man. Like you want to buy this if you have, if you had that kind of money, I guess you buy another one, cut out all the artwork, and make a splash wall out of it. But
Absolutely. And the beautiful thing about that Mothra you were just showing is that it's actually very accurate to the movie. The artist is having their own interpretation of it, but it's still 1960s Mothra versus 1990s Mothra.
That is a very, very as close as you're going to get type of, the colors and the quality and the text that JT was talking about and Dad Man, you guys are talking about. It's very in depth because it's very small. I'd need glasses to read this. Well, unless I turn on the light. But it's very in depth for each one. Of course, they got to go through 15 of those for everybody watching. So the collection, the money shot will be at the end. I've already sneak peeked. So
it usually is. Yeah.
Nice one. Good follow.
I'm trying to not be the one to break a PG rating on your show, Dave. I don't want that honor. So.
Well, we lasted more than 7 seconds.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Did you hear what happened to my first stream? I came out with all these rules and stuff and had all this stuff and PG-13, all this stuff. And my own kid, you know who it is, Aang, dropped the P word in the chat.
Uh-oh.
It was like, oh my God. Then came out as the name. It just was like, okay. So Dave, congratulations. I'm trying to behave tonight.
I am thanking everybody thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Yes, yes. And I was joking with my friend Baco, wherever he might be. I'm kind of, I almost did I was going to say I'm something myself out because it's like, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment. But it's all good, right? So again, the colors, let me go to big screen real quick. Look, pow. And you know who that is.
Oh, Ghidorah. Yes, yeah. King Ghidorah. And that was before he became known as Astro Monster, which is the next film. The next film. But this one, I actually love this movie even more than Astro Monster. And this had the first massive multi-monster team up in it. And it also had the sexiest little space princess, you know, taking over the body of the princess in America, in like some I don't even know where she came from, some little island country, some little island state, and so she's speaking to the humans trying to protect us from the space dragon, as they said to in the American translation, King Ghidorah, the space dragon. And
go ahead. Sorry. I thought you were done. I'm sorry. Oh, I was going to say quickly here that I noticed that this art style looks a little different than some of the pages that we've seen before. Is there a name for this type of art as opposed to some of the others? It seems
it's very traditional 1890s Japanese.
Okay. Yeah, a bit, because there definitely is a difference in the art style there, and it looks cool all on its own. It looks cool. I like it.
I agree. I don't like butchering Japanese terms, so I don't like saying them, JT.
Oh, I understand. Yeah.
My pronunciation is not good, but that is very similar to the kind of art that you would see on tapestries from even going as far back as the 1780s, painted with various dyes on silk.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
Yes.
Well, I was just going to say, you know, if you don't do the Japanese bit, that's okay. Not all of us have the talent for foreign language, like Dadman with French. So
yes,
you know.
Yes. 20 likes, by the way. 20 likes, oui.
Oh dear God.
Dave C.
I wonder if Bucky is lurking because there you go.
Yeah.
The kids were just woken up.
Yeah, exactly. She'd be laughing so hard. There's Dave. He came back.
Yeah.
You missed the French lesson, Dave.
Oh,
dear God.
No, I had to turn the fan up, man. It's so hot in here. I've got the AC on, which normally I would turn off because of the noise. Nobody's complained. So that little bit of a knocking noise you hear is the AC. So I turn the fan up. That should cool things off a little bit. So, all right. Any thoughts on the Ghidorah? You know, this would be, I guess, his first introduction into the Godzilla verse. And there you go, right?
By the way, when's your first celebration? Because you've just hit 20 subscribers.
Did I hit 20?
You hit 20 now. Yep.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. That's my boy Paco, I think, helping me out. And then everybody, you guys helping me out. I appreciate that.
Somebody said there's free unicorn ice cream, so that's why I came.
Oh, jeez.
Very nice. Very nice. Oh, yeah, 20 subscribers. Thank you. 11 likes. Yeah. That is awesome, guys.
So, Dave, what got you into collecting these type of things? Well, start as a kid. What really got you into that and grew into collecting as an adult?
That's exactly, because the collecting is just because I remember these as a kid. You know how old I am now, and the artwork on this one is going to be a very iconic scene for me, and a lot of the Godzilla people. What Godzilla does in this movie is absolutely freaking hilarious.
The Goji dance.
And you know, it was just something I liked as a kid. I remember watching Son of Godzilla, and it just stuck. You know, I'm a big sci-fi person as well. You know, Godzilla stuck with me, and it always had. It's just the coolest, right? So I have my 74 is my favorite, and until I have another one there, but the 74 is my favorite, which is I believe we're getting into that now, right? So I can get.
We have a couple more to get through. We have a couple more, including the one that everyone hates, but I love. Godzilla versus Hedorah, otherwise known as Godzilla versus the Smog Monster. I love that movie.
Yeah, that's a weird one. I didn't like it at first.
Nowadays, it'd be an environmental message, or was that with the Smog Monster? Was there an environmental message about it? When it came out?
Yes,
yeah,
it was one of the first environmental monster movies ever made. Dead Man, yes, it was.
So we had that tone and that lecturing back then too.
Oh yes.
Oh wow.
Hedorah was literally a sludge monster
made of pollution. Made of pollution.
Now, JT,
that's pretty heavy. That's not really subtle, is it, JT? Not even by old TOS standards, it's that subtle.
Right. I was going to say that sounds like Alex Kurtzman level subtle.
So, like, that's a great question, Dad, man. Thank you. And it's just, it's not really something. It's just something I loved, and I never collected a lot of the things. I wish I'd have collected the comic books because I think a full run of that went for a couple of grand, but I wouldn't have sold them anyway. And they were just fun movies as a kid. And then when you had like Son of Godzilla, it was really for kids. You know?
Oh yes.
That one actually, the main character was that the boy who was running from the bad guys?
No, that comes later. That comes later.
Okay, I'm getting them a little mixed up. Sorry, everybody.
Right.
I've been trying to watch these on. Oh, and to give a shout out, I think it's Tubi, and also I can't think of the other channel, but it has tons of commercials on that one, so I don't watch these anymore. Now I've got the Tubi. So
Roku.
Yeah, not Roku, but there's another one. I can't think of it. But too many commercials on that one. So
gotcha.
Tubi does have these, but so then we move on to Invasion of Astro Monster, and I'm trying to read the year, and I can't see it.
I think that was 66 or 65.
Yeah, let me put on my old man glasses here.
Old man glasses.
65. Yeah,
right.
65. So,
also had an incredibly sexy Japanese woman in it. Again. Never hurts. No. But they were dressed from head to toe. There's no exploitation. These are films you can show to kids without any problem.
Yeah, you can show all of these because the violence is just, the guy in the suit beating up other people that aren't even, maybe not even in a suit. Some of them are, Gigan and those guys, right?
There is a little bit of shoot 'em ups in a couple of them. Like there were gangsters in the Ghidorah one, right? So there, some people get shot, but you never see any blood. You actually never see any blood in a Godzilla film.
And the other one I was referring to, and the gangsters were chasing the little boy around and stuff like that.
That's the Japanese name is All Monsters Attack, but the name in America is Godzilla's Revenge, which is actually when the kid's imagining himself being on Monster Island and he's daydreaming and he meets Gabara. Remember Gabara? He had that horrible laugh.
Terrible
laugh. He didn't even have a roar, Dad Man. The monster had no roar. He had like this Archie Bunker chuckle.
Hey, nothing wrong with the chuckle.
No, nothing wrong with the chuckle.
But look who's here.
Rodan! I love Rodan.
And old boy's taking on two bad guys here. Right? So JT, what's your experience with these movies? Just an every now and then type of thing?
Yeah, every now and then you'd catch one on TV, right? And a lot of times, especially before the HD Blu-ray era, a lot of them are just kind of questionable screenings in 4:3, on the old tube TV growing up. So, they're cut for time, cut for commercial breaks, all that type of stuff. But I could tell you I've seen at least 10. What the titles of them all are. Some of them I could go through, some of them I could not. But some of them also, they made me laugh as a kid because the special effects were obviously miniatures in some of them.
Right.
And as a kid of the 80s and 90s, even then I was kind of spoiled with top of the line special effects, from
You heathen.
Lucasfilm and
Even
all
in
that
the
kind of
90s.
stuff.
Not you, JT.
But,
Come on. Not you.
You're a heathen child.
But it was kind of an interesting sociological way to kind of look at this, because I grew up, my grandparents were in the war type of thing, not my parents, right? And certainly not me. So to see some of that post World War II type stuff from a Japanese perspective is quite interesting. I think a lot of time the focus is always on Europe, and we gobble everything up post-war in a very Cold War viewpoint in NATO and the West versus East. But that was not the case with Japan whatsoever. And I feel like a lot of the Marshall Plan stuff didn't quite get the same route and method. And just, it was a totally different way to handle the end of the war in Japan. And so a lot of the themes that you would see in the movies, even as a kid, would make me, kind of think in a different way in between all of the hilarious type stuff that happens in some of these movies, just because it's so dated. The American ones are definitely more accessible, I think, but not always as
the
creative.
Legendary Picture stuff?
Yeah. Where they're speaking English the whole time, but they're not as creative, I don't think.
More money, less creativity. Yeah.
Yes.
Or not, unlike
as is
Doctor
the
Who,
tradition with Hollywood. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, unlike classic Doctor Who, with less money and more creativity, right?
Right on, Dave.
Right. And before we move on, a quick, Dad, man, I want to touch base on some of the things that this scene of Godzilla is one of the scenes that I'll always remember. This is the famous dance scene that he does, and he actually does that dance, and it's freaking phenomenal. It's hilarious. So I would recommend watching this just to see this guy pulling this off in the suit.
Well, it's basically like a sumo wrestler patting himself on the back after kicking the bejesus out of the opponent, and Godzilla leaps up and he puts his arm up and his leg up, and then he bounces down, he leaps up again and does it with the opposite arm and the opposite leg. And it's just so funny. It's so hilarious. And Rodan's looking at him like, you dumbass. It's one of the first movies with the monsters really have a rapport and they communicate with each other in a certain way in Astro Monster. And it is just, it may not be the most perfect movie for an adult, but it is a perfect movie for a kid.
No, and I'm glad you asked that question, Dad, man. It's great because the more we see these, the more I remember at least most of those. And that was one of the most iconic ones. The spider that was brought up when he's shooting out the web all over Minya and
that's the next movie.
Dad
that's the next movie.
Yeah. It's two more actually. And
well, we have Son of Godzilla. That's where we first see Kumonga, the giant spider, son of Godzilla.
I was just touching on the iconic scenes that Dad man's like, so it always stuck with me, and I just loved it. So, and I know who Melted Knee is now. He put a little secret in the chat. The Superman, that is a friend of mine. That's how he knew I was in the Marine Corps. I figured that out. I wound up actually working with him years and years later at the same building in Washington, D.C. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
And our friend Buddy Hepburn's come by.
Buddy!
Oh, hey.
Absolutely
Hey,
awesome. Hey, Buddy.
And somebody named John took us.
Yes.
Yep. John's been here for a while.
Yep.
That's
Thank you.
awesome. Thanks,
Thank you.
Buddy, for stopping by. And yes, Buddy, we were going through the whole first original 15, except the American version. So, so this one, Ibra, Horror of the Deep.
Oh, yes, Horror of
crab
the Deep.
guy, or a kind of lobster guy. What would you guys call him, if you can remember?
A lobster. Definitely lobster.
Lobster.
Shrimp.
Prawn. Yeah, I was going to say prawn,
Shrimp.
man.
Shrimp. Just
Darn you both. Darn you both.
Yes. Oh, and Liz. Liz is the daughter of my very, very good childhood friend, Paco. She's here as well.
Hello.
Thank you.
Hello,
Yep.
Liz.
I've known him for 50 years, I guess, at this point, as far as I can remember. So yeah, and again, the artwork is just amazing. JT again with that black paper and the it's wow. Again, I guess you really can't say much about it. I mean, more about it, how nice it is. This is really put together well. So.
I have a joke for you, Daisy. Dad Man is eating chips, and it sounds just like when Abira is eating two of the islanders who try to escape.
Yeah. Crunchy, is that what you're doing? Are you eating?
No, I was chewing a piece of ice. I forgot. Sorry about that. It was ice.
You forgot you were alive.
Yeah, I kind of did. Sorry. But hey, it draws some people. You got 13 here now, Dave. You look at that. Wow, you're on fire now.
Dude. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
So sorry about that. But
and I had a few people say, they couldn't make it and stuff. Nick Weiser and stuff. He was busy and stuff like that. So.
But Abira Horror of the Deep, I mean, it is a delightful little movie. And the thing you'll remember, Dave, is that it was mixing spy-fi, the James Bond aspect, the Dr. No aspect into the whole thing. And they had the secret base on the island.
That's right. I forgot about that. They had the secret base, and you couldn't escape the island. So they were basically had, workers there. Right?
That's one way to put it.
That's one way to put it, right? And they couldn't leave because even if they tried to leave in a boat, old lobster guy right there would get you, and that's what you were. He snack time basically.
Right, snack time.
Yeah, he would eat them right up.
And it had the great volleyball scene between Godzilla and Abira. Remember, they're smacking the rock between each other.
Yeah. So that's another. Yeah. So these movies have their scenes, and that scene in particular. I don't know, JT, if you've ever seen this one. I would say Hungry, a lot of
not
people
enough
probably
to tell you about it.
Probably wouldn't have seen this one as much as the other ones, right?
It was an early MST3K, believe it or not. Mystery Science Theater 2000.
No, it's not
Okay.
that bad.
No, seriously.
And wow, that's kind of mean.
But it got removed. No, they were kind of sensitive to it. But the thing is, it got removed because after they did it is when Toho started cracking down on everybody. So Toho removed the rights. They removed the rights to show it, and so you have to go on the high seas, if you know what I mean, to find the MST3K of Abira Horror of the Deep, and some of the fans of MST3K and Gojira are such big fans. They actually took a high definition copy of the movie and just transferred the MST3K audio onto it.
Dude, I'm gonna have to go back and watch that because. It's going to make me mad because I would never thought they would pick this one. But
that's where I've seen this before. I'm not saying maybe
yeah.
I was like, one of these is an MST3K, and I don't know which one. Okay, so we found out which one it is.
I'll be honest with you. I guess I don't want to contradict myself. I just did say it was one of the lesser known ones, right? So,
well, for most people, it is.
Shocking
I mean, I love it.
It's just a little funny. I didn't think it was that bad to do it, but okay.
No. But we have another. I hate to break this to you and JT. There is another Godzilla MST3K movie coming up once we hit the 70s.
Oh wow,
another one.
Well, on that note, Dave, I need to go ahead and skip out. Had some things tonight, but listen, thanks for inviting me on.
Oh, dude, thanks for being
here. I appreciate it. I'll keep tweeting.
Thank you, Dad, man.
Yeah, I'll keep tweeting out and stuff and, keep lurking. But hey, thanks. Always great to see JT and Hungry. But Dave, congrats. Thanks for coming on my shows all the time. And dude, you got this, man. You got the natural look, the voice for all this stuff. You're going to, just keep on doing it. Do what you like. All right.
I appreciate that, man. You might see me blushing, but I'm already red from walking in the sun.
I know.
I know. Celebratory beverage.
So. Yes, there you go. All right, y'all have a good rest of the stream.
Thanks, Dad, man. I'll talk to you later.
Yep. See you, David.
Sweet dreams, bro.
Yeah. So that's funny. I'm glad you guys brought that MSTK3 thing up. That's hilarious, man.
It really is a good episode, but it kind of wounds me that they're going after a film that I love so much.
Well,
It's
that's what
bound
I
to
was
happen
getting
to
at,
somebody
right?
sometime, right?
Right. What you say, Dave? What was that?
Yeah, no, I thought when you first told me that, I was like, oh, come on, really? They
Yeah.
did that? But okay, I get it. I get it.
It was
I mean,
one of their earliest ones, and the rights to the film were like up for debate, and Toho was in very dire straits at that time. So I guess Toho just gave them a pass, but later on, Toho's like, no.
no, they weren't going to do that. And then
When we get to Godzilla versus Megalon is when we're really going to have some issues.
when we start having issues, I would think, yeah, well, we'll get to that when we get to it, right? Because right now we're going to come to what Dadman left just a little bit too soon. One of my favorites, at least as a kid, right? Besides We Know Who, the Mecha, right?
Oh, yeah.
Which is probably, when we get to that one, probably most people's number one. But I would like to think probably this might be a lot of people's, at least, dare I say, top 2 or 3. I don't know. Most people are going to pick what they like, right? So
that, believe it or not, that ranges from country to country, because I don't like saying this because I love it as much as you do. I really do. Yeah. I consider it an adorable movie. And you know, the giant praying mantises, the Kamikuros, as they're called in the movie. Oh my God, those are terrifying just as much as Kumonga the spider is. There are great monsters in this movie, but a lot of people hate Goji suit design, so they don't like the movie. And
I remember, it's just like what you said. You have different characters. You've had, and it wasn't just the spider and the mantis, and because the names, people might not know what you're referring to, and I can't say them properly most of the time. So they also had a couple other ones there too. Yes, right. So I'm thinking like 3 or 4. I know it was at least 3. You know, it wasn't Rodan. It wasn't Peter, it wasn't any of those. They're all island type characters that Dad had to protect little son from.
And trying to introduce new monsters that could be used later, which is a smart idea. It is a smart idea.
Sure.
And they also
I'm sorry. Although most of those were a one-off for this movie, like the mantis and the spider especially.
Yeah, although Kumonga did come back in a film we're leading up to Destroy All Monsters.
Oh,
and
that's right. Yeah, I can't remember.
He made a brief, it made a brief appearance, but I really enjoyed this one because this also had a little bit of a concern with weather, like environmental concern, like we were talking before, where they're involving the weather balloons. And you remember at the end, they actually bring snow onto the island a little bit by accident.
Is that this one? I get that mixed up with Destroy All Monsters sometimes, with the island at the end and stuff. I had to go back and watch these in order. Which I probably will do now.
It's the same island. It's implied that it's the same island between the two movies. But
that's
with Monster Island, that's where the next movie, where all the monsters are sequestered on an island to keep them managed, if you know what I mean. And yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, the point you just made, I want you to reiterate that. You're saying that the island has always been something that they refer back to, but wasn't it this one or the other one you're referring to, that Destroy All Monsters? It gets destroyed, the island, right?
Well, in this one, what happens is it gets covered with snow and ice because they're doing weather experiments on the island for the sake of controlling weather for the good of mankind and being able to make sure we don't starve.
Right. I remember.
Very Japanese. Very Japanese. That was not in the American version that much, JT. The translations didn't happen.
Yeah. I'm guessing they did not.
Any comments on some of these or so far?
Oh, I love it.
Not for JT.
Honestly, the art style on this one is not my favorite. However, the movie may be far better than that. Just for whatever reason, I like some of the others better.
I'm not digging the art style on this one. I'm gonna give this I'm looking at Minya and I'm gonna give this page an F. compared to the other ones.
I would give it a
If
D
you look at
minus.
that,
Yeah.
well,
I mean, Minya looks like a slee stack from Land of the
Thank
Lost
you.
there.
Yes.
he looks like an abandoned slee stack out in the woods or something that nobody wanted. And they kicked him off the cliff like they do in 300, right?
And he looks like he's about to bite
Yeah.
Godzilla
Right in
his
the
ass. I mean,
Yeah.
that's not right. That is his parent. You do not bite your parent in the ass. You
Yeah,
don't
I
do
guess he's
that.
riding the. Okay, yeah. So he's riding the tail, and I guess that's a smile.
Climbing it. He's climbing it.
Is he
We
climbing
don't know
it,
why.
riding it? Yeah. Cool. Well, compared to the other ones, this one is but the colors again though, the shading and the colors
the inking.
are
The
fantastic.
inking is good.
It's a
The
C.
inking is good.
Yeah, the inking. I'll move it up to a C because I wasn't really paying attention.
Oh
to
no,
the
you don't do that on my
overall.
account.
Yeah.
But
Ooh.
the other thing is that it's this is where we're going to get into. JT understands what I mean. The whole thing with geeks about accuracy, because Minya in this film, he's a baby. He just came out of the egg, right? Babies are fat. They are born with a lot of fat on their bodies. Minya was a pudgy boy when he came out. He is a
Yes.
very pudgy character, and that on that art is not pudgy. That's lean
No.
and mean. That's toddler weight. That's like 3 years old. Minya is a day old in this movie.
Okay, so yeah, it gets a little bit better here. So, all right, so this is where I used to get a little bit confused on all the movies over the years where I wasn't actually paying attention to the lineage, right?
Right.
And you start getting a little bit lost in the sauce with Destroy All Monsters and
Oh yeah.
Ghidorah. Well, which one did he come in first and all that? You just, you have to watch him and pay attention to those kind of things. So we move on to this one, and the artwork goes back to really kind of psychedelic, but a lot better.
Yeah.
What I think. So this is Destroy All Monsters. So you get them all on here, or at least I think even Manda. Is that Manda?
Yeah, that's Manda.
Everybody
That's Manda. Yes.
In the chat, that's Manda. Okay, Manda.
And they even had a brief appearance of Varan, the Unbelievable, which Toho would like us to forget, but they put him in there.
They put him in there. Yeah. There's
They put all of
Ghidorah,
them in there.
Angra. There's the larva, Angosaurus, and one down there above Rodan. I can't remember that one's name, but they're all in here. This was with the space aliens again, right? They kidnapped
new space aliens. They're separate to Astro Monster, separate to them. Yeah, these are the all women space aliens that turn into slimy, silvery goo that crawl into rocks when they are absolutely threatened.
Nice.
Which is an interesting scene, by the way.
Yeah, Buddy says that's Gorosaurus. All right.
Yeah, Buddy's
awesome.
correct. Gorosaurus.
Awesome. Good job. That's so cool. So,
and the interesting thing about Gorosaurus, as Buddy will know, is Gorosaurus actually did not first show up in a Godzilla film. He actually showed up in King Kong Escapes. He fights King Kong, and they scaled him up and put him in a Godzilla movie for this one. That was fine. I had no problem with that.
Well, he had his 15 minutes of fame, didn't he?
I mean, sometimes we got to let the lore die to let the joy preside.
Kill it if you have to.
Yeah. Oh God, I will never say that.
Oh.
But if you got to Deadpool it.
Yeah.
Now, is this the one where the female alien had the kids and they were going to do they were trying to get information out of them, or was that the other one, Astro Monster?
Astro Monster had the romantic element between the female alien and the American actor. The American actor who was in 3 Toho films, by the way, in 3 of them. Great guy, really, really tough, really enjoyable to watch. He was a bit mumbly, he had a bit of a mumbly vocal tone, but in this one, no, there's no seductive interaction between the female aliens and mankind. They're just basically pretending to be kind of helpful and then realizing, well, they're not helpful at all. No,
no, they're not helpful at all.
they're Hollywood women. I shouldn't have said that. I apologize.
No. So so this is what I was referring to here. The next one is all monsters attack. So you start to get with these movies, knocking them out back and forth, destroy all monsters attack, and you start to get with these two here until they get more specific. You get a little confused on what movie's what, right? But again, the splash page.
But that's got the kid there. That's who you were mentioning. The kid who gets bullied in real life in Tokyo, and then he has the imagination daydream exploits that he's going to Monster Island because he loves Godzilla and all the giant monsters so much. And he has to face off with some gangsters at the end, as well as the bullies.
So as you can tell, I was confused as to which one was which.
And that's Gabara facing off with Godzilla there, the dreaded Gabara, the one who has no roar, the one who's right.
Gabara just kind of shakes, right?
Yeah.
And the artwork is so good that it depicts exactly what you're talking about. There's the boy, and he's dreaming about, and there's Minya, fat pudgy minion. We can finally get him
an accurate Minya. Yes,
get the lighting there. There we go. That's a little bit better there for you. You can see that. I don't have to go full screen on it, but and then you see Godzilla facing off.
Yeah,
very cool. So. And again, the colors, I mean, they're always going to be bright and they pop out. So
I like that deep, rich purple on Godzilla.
on Godzilla. Mm-hmm. But he's laser blasting. He's laser blasting in there. You can't tell because of the light. So if you look up there, that he's actually getting right in the face.
And just so everybody knows, in the 70s, All Monsters Attack was released in the United States and Australia as Godzilla's Revenge, even though there's no real revenge in the movie, because as Buddy points out, it was more of a clip show. When people would take old footage, Toho took old footage from the other movies and used that, particularly from Son of Godzilla. But there were original scenes between Minya and the kid. It was great.
Yeah, the interaction was there, and and they always had those subplots, right? With the monsters, there's always something else going on to keep the focus off it, not being boring, and always about the monsters, which was probably why Godzilla -1, well, because of the director and the production. It wasn't always about Godzilla, right? You had the little kid, he's running from the bad guys, but he's also dreaming, and he's made friends with Minya and stuff like that. So then we move on to the one we were talking about, the pollution monster.
Yeah,
the sludge guy.
Yes.
JT,
this one, right? Say something.
It kind of looks like The Thing as well.
Yeah, it's a little inaccurate. See, he's all orange there, and actually the monster looks a lot more like something you would see enter from your toilet into the sewers, and that's on purpose.
He's totally gross in the movies. Yeah. And I would say that this probably if I remember some of the scenes that Hedorah does to people, probably not for kids.
No, not for kids at all. And that was a big problem with afterwards. Toho was not happy with some of that stuff, and they were just so busy at the time, they didn't catch on to it. But there are times where Hedorah will fly over people and release a toxic gaseous cloud, and then people will fall to the street, and then they basically dissolve down to their skeletons.
Yeah, that was kind of like when my friend in chat, when we were in Vegas, and he took me to White Castle after being out all night.
Yeah, right.
I kind of felt like Hedorah the next day. But anyway,
it kind of reminds me of like tobacco tar when you try to get it off of stuff, and it's like that really thick brownish orangish. Of course, there's dust in it always too, because it just everything sticks to it. That's kind of what that monster reminds me of in a way.
That's a very with pollution. Very good description, JT. Very good description, actually. If you haven't seen it.
Go, Dave.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to commend JT on that because I watch this film at least once every 3 years. That's how much I love this one. And there is a significant amount of smoking in this film, JT. So I think you're on to something. No,
Yeah.
significant amount of smoking in this film. And there's discotheques, and there's the song, which translated "Save the Earth, Save the Earth" at the beginning. And there's LSD use. I kid you not. And
and
it is
I'm sorry. Respect
it
LSD.
is the
I'm
most
thinking,
hippie-ass Godzilla movie that was ever made.
Yeah, 71, so late 60s, right? And then it came
Yeah.
out in 71. So there you go.
And the beginning opening segment, which is in both the American and the Japanese versions, you're just seeing like Tokyo Bay completely covered in refuse and garbage and nasty substances you cannot even recognize or define, JT.
Mhm.
Yeah, so your description was spot on, actually.
Cool. Very cool.
Because
I'll take it.
if you see he's not orange, he's nasty. So get my phone trying to call people when I'm talking because I said JT. I was trying to call him.
Yeah.
Well, there's the other, just to give credit to it, Dave, there are some other nasty moments at the end of the film, at the end of the big fight, and it gives us a lot of Godzilla moments. It gives us incredibly scary moments, like the lighting when Godzilla first faces off with Hedorah in the cityscapes, and the lighting is smoky, and I hate to use this word, but hellish. It's all red and very, very atmospheric. But when you get to the end of the movie, Godzilla is actually having to punch his fist into the chest of this bugger and pull parts out. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, it was it was a hard fight for him, I think, right? Ghidorah,
yes,
and then the one we'll get to here soon. This is one of the harder fights he's had, I think, even with Ghidorah coming before him. But then when Ghidorah first came out, you thought, oh man, that's a bad monster right there, man. Ghidorah.
Yes.
And Dad Man touched on some of the things that I remember, and I almost forgot to mention it. Can we talk about Godzilla's roar and all the sounds? Ghidorah's sound. I can't do it, right? I wish I had some clips set up. Maybe next time I can do clips, and the sounds are iconic, all of them, right?
Well, if you go to a site called Wikizilla, they have little samples of every monster's roar from Toho. There's a site called Wikizilla. I think it's .org. It may be .com, but I think it's wikizilla.org. Yeah, and I think you can download a lot of those.
Nice. Yeah, I wish I had thought of trying to get all that done for today. Just slipped my mind. So, you talk about Godzilla's roar and the soundtrack, right?
Yeah.
Guys? JT, I mean, the soundtrack is it's iconic. I could do that over and over, man. And when I went to go see Godzilla -1, I only remember them playing it twice. They didn't overuse it. I was very happy they didn't overuse it, right? The Godzilla roar I could hear all night, but I didn't want them to overuse the original soundtrack. They played it a little bit, and I got some chills. And no spoiler alert, there's the big scenes at the end of the movie. They played it again right at the right spot, and I just got goosebumps all over, man. And I was like, oh, dude, that is so badass when they did that.
And then there's the other classic Godzilla music. There's the one that you did, but then there's the one where Godzilla often gets introduced. Wah, 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 wah.
Yes.
Wah, 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 wah. Because they used to use they used real orchestral instruments back then. It wasn't just all, MIDI sounds and electric guitars and stuff like that. And the music is absolutely 100% iconic. It is iconic.
Yeah, and I think that the Hedorah, one of the sites that I was on before or checking on now, it's kind of reminded me that Hedorah is actually an alien life form for some reason. I forgot that completely. My information might be wrong, so that was a little bit odd. that they would have chosen that path and just not made it from the Earth, right?
Yeah. Well, in the American version, it's just from the Earth. In the Japanese version, it's heavily implied that something alien made a connection, shall we say, with the pollution, and therefore Hetero was created.
Right. It used the pollution because we had a ton of it, so it knew what to.
That was also the case in one of the other best Toho Japanese monster movies, Yog, Monster from Space, otherwise known as Space Amoeba. So
that's funny. Say that again.
Don't get me started on the titles. I didn't choose them. But you have this extraterrestrial space amoeba that gets onto a faulty satellite that falls back onto Earth and then infects a cuttlefish, and then infects a crab, and then infects an amphibious lizard. And therefore we got 3 monsters in one, and Yog, Monster from Space.
Nice. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So the next one, we were talking like 72, I believe. Yeah. It's Godzilla versus a character, Gigan. And I wish I had some pictures more. I could flash something up. You could see. He's got the one with the big horn. He's got horns around his back, but he has a big one on the top of his head.
And the buzzsaw in his tummy.
And the buzzsaw in the hands, right?
Oh, he's got hooks for hands and the buzzsaw in his abdomen.
Yep.
His abdomen.
And he's a pretty tough character. But I think Godzilla pretty whips his butt pretty good on this one. But this is the one that features a guy who works for a company. He's actually a manga artist. Imagine that, right? And he finds out that they're doing really bad stuff at an amusement park, trying to take over the world and all kinds of stuff like that. And this is a tag team, if I remember correctly, right? Angusaurus against Gigan and actually Ghidorah, which is a pretty tough tag team to go up against. But
I'm actually surprised the Big G made it through this movie. This was a tough haul for the Big G. Yes, I agree with you.
I think is this the one they actually show him bleeding, Godzilla?
Yeah.
Or was that before? It's this one?
Well, I mean, there was damage shown in Godzilla versus Hedorah, the previous film you just showed, where Hedorah spits his highly acidic goo from his body into Godzilla's eye, and that's like not a pretty scene to watch. But in this one, I mean, there are scenes where the buzzsaw in the tummy. I mean, Gigan is a ruthless monster. He's ruthless, and he's I'm far more scary than Megalon, which we're coming up to.
Yeah, he's way scarier than Megalon.
Megalon's just a giant cockroach. Let's be honest. He's a giant cockroach from under the earth. But with Gigan, he's got this buzzsaw in his stomach, and he flies over Godzilla and slices the hell out of him.
Yep. Yeah, that's not a good picture. I mean, the art is great. Good. Yeah, the art is good as always. Yeah, so that's the amusement park theme. The guy's trying to out the company. And it's a 2-on-2. And I think at one point, Godzilla gets beat up pretty badly between Gigan and Ghidorah.
Yeah.
For a while there, right?
Yes.
And I wanted to say, was it the character Ultraman or somebody? Wasn't the guy who?
I know what you're thinking of. You're thinking of Jet Jaguar. He comes up in the next movie. He comes up in Godzilla versus Megalon.
Megalon, right?
The cockroach.
Let's move on to Megalon.
Yeah, I'm sorry for blathering, JT. I know that I'm leaving you out of this confirmation.
No,
but I mean, it's just this is something I've been studying just with fervency since I was 3 years old.
Right?
Oh God, I hate that art. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
JT.
I was gonna say I don't know if that one's my favorite.
No, my God, that's terrible.
I'm not sure what to think about that.
The problem is it looks like he has 2 mouths. Well, that's one of the
looks
problems.
Like a frog, really big.
Almost, yeah.
A king frog,
or
right?
some kind of toad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excuse
Oh
me.
my God, a
Sorry.
big old Texas bullfrog. Yes.
Yeah, big cane toad or
A
something.
cane toad is even better. Yeah, Queensland cane toad.
But there's
Oh.
your, try not to get the lighting. There's your Jet Jaguar character that I mentioned. There's
Yes.
Megalon, and there's Gigan as well, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, there's not too much to say about this one. I mean, it just follows along where they just made another good, fairly good Godzilla movie. He's supposed to have been like some kind of underground thing, monster god of the vengeful underground. What does this website call it?
Look.
Seatopia.
Yeah, Seatopia, which is basically like Atlanteans who collapsed into the subterranean depths and they continued. That's why they call it Seatopia, because they're supposed to be Atlanteans. Don't laugh, JT. I know this is terrible to someone like you.
This one maybe
But
could
they
have
tried.
been on MST3K, right?
Yes, that was the other one. Yes.
I would have thought that this one, because we're coming up to the good ones, right? Some of the good ones. And I would have thought this one would have made it over the, geez, I already forgot the other one that you mentioned earlier. So
Abira?
Abira.
Yeah, yes.
I could see Abira being on there as well, but this one I would have picked first, probably Abira second, to be on MSTK.
Well, I mean, there's so much goofy stuff in this, but it was good goofy stuff, but it's still this is one of the goofiest Godzilla movies ever made. This is the one, and Buddy can correct me if I'm wrong. This is the one, I believe, where Godzilla uses his breath to fly backwards, and they actually use that in the credits of MS3K for a couple of seasons.
Yeah, they use it as a clip, right?
Yeah.
My buddy's sister Susanna, she says it looks like a cross between a duck and an alligator.
Nicely said.
Yeah, which refers
gator duck.
Which looked like, what was it, the 56 or somewhat, one of the which one is it? Oh, the one up here. He's kind of got the Florida crocodile or look, right? Alligator, sorry. Alligator look. So yeah, we won't say too much about this one. Megalon, he's a crazy looking character, he's ugly as crap. But Jet Jaguar is pretty cool if you're into an Ultraman type of thing, which I never really got into too much, but I mean, he's cool. Jet Jaguar is pretty cool. He helps out a lot. He gets busted up for it, but that's the way it goes when you're just Jet Jaguar going up against these guys. So, and Guy, again, don't forget, he was a tough one. So, all right, moving on. Let's move on to dun, 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 dun. You know what's next, right?
Oh, yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun.
This was so popular in the 70s.
One, JT, you know this.
Yep. Oh yeah.
I'll be right back, guys. You talk. I love this one, but you guys keep talking.
Yeah, this is if Godzilla wasn't popular enough, they'd make a freaking Mecha Godzilla with rockets out of his hands. So JT, tell me, you having flashbacks now?
It's been a while since I've seen it, but I remember that was a fun movie. I laughed in a lot of it, just along with the movie, but oh man, that was some intense. That's a good one. I want to go watch it now. Definitely a classic. I would definitely have to put this in my. I haven't ranked in all these movies, mind you, but if I did, it would be up there.
Sure. So. I mean, it would have to be, right? Unless unless there's something in particular as a person you just didn't like some of the aspects of it. But even like, and Buddy knows his stuff out in the chat, so I would give props out to Buddy and a lot of people in the chat who knows their stuff about this Godzilla. Yes. And I would say the Megalon one coming out before this. And sometimes when you make movies, and we'll probably have long conversations in the future about movie making, comic book making, and sometimes you're hit or miss, no matter what you do, right? I guess you have to have vision in your direction and your production. You have to have money, right? Like, but you can still pull it off without a lot of money. Godzilla -1, right? Yep. First Deadpool, but This one probably saved Godzilla franchise. It revitalized it. I might be way off here. I can't remember too much, but I just remember Megalon was just it was a fun thing, but this one was great, right? If I remember.
I agree completely. And the thing is that Godzilla versus Megalon was the first Godzilla film I got to see in the theater, the cinema. But this one was the second one I saw. And this one had far more people coming to see it because outside of Japan, believe it or not, the original name was Godzilla versus the Bionic Monster. And then less than 9 months after they had released it that way, the people who owned the rights to the $6 million man and the word bionic made them change it. So they had to change it to Mechagodzilla.
Wow. Which is probably a good move.
I agree.
In hindsight. So now, is this Little Caesar? Is that Caesar? I call it Little Caesar.
Yeah.
That's Caesar,
him.
right?
Yeah. And, I'll be honest, never my favorite.
No.
King Caesar is what he was referred to in the
I call it
the Japanese version. But for me, he's Little Caesar. So yeah, we'll go with your version.
Yeah, he's actually kind of one of those obscure characters that is oddly popular within certain circles, I'd say, right? I mean, I've seen people on eBay and stuff like that, or in certain areas saying they're trying to find a good figure from him. There's always like little bad ones out there, but collectors, right? They want to collect all of them. So like Manda, sometimes people forget about Manda, but Caesar's like one of those obscure ones that people know. So
no, that's true. Comments? And Manda was obscure because Manda actually appeared first in a non-Godzilla film, and he got brought back for Destroy All Monsters. But with King Caesar, one of the reasons he's popular is because he's based on something called a foo dog, and foo dogs are incredibly important to Asian mythology and religious beliefs. So when we look at King Caesar, we see basically Scooby-Doo on steroids, but they're not seeing that. They're seeing something completely different to what we're seeing. And I respect what they're seeing and I like what they're seeing, but I am seeing Scooby-Doo on steroids.
He's a really hairy character too, right? If I remember.
Very hairy
like a wet dog, like a wet sheepdog or something.
Yes.
With big floppy ears that they never clipped. So.
And he made goofy movements, whenever he'd lose a moment in the battle, he like shrug it off, just like you're saying, like a wet sheepdog. And I couldn't handle it. I couldn't handle it, but I love the movie.
Yeah, and Buddy says Anguirus is in this one too. That's awesome.
Yes,
I forgot about that.
At the very beginning of the film as well. And there are again these moments where the lighting is very dark and moody, but with some very significant red lights. When you remember Godzilla's facing off of what he thinks is another Godzilla, and then there's the fight, and Godzilla knocks off a piece of flesh from the fake Godzilla, and we see the glint of steel, the glint of metal, and then we know one of you buggers is fake.
Yes, that's right. And again, he's alien, right? So we've got the alien theme, the sci-fi coming in with the fantasy, of monsters. So the alien theme is so prevalent in a lot of these movies, right? Outside of the first couple of them.
I gotta make JT groan here. You're gonna groan, JT.
I'm already breathing in for it.
This is what the beginning of Data versus Lore was. You get the joke?
If you insist.
And for everybody, when I ask like, oh, what's your favorite Godzilla or something like that, I'm going to go with the 74 because this was the 74 one. And you guys have seen this guy a few times.
Oh, yes.
Right? It's my 74. He's got the huge tail. And,
Oh, but that tail is nothing compared to Shin Gojira. My
gosh,
God.
no way. Right. But any more comments on this one, JT, with the mecha? You know, he had rockets coming out of his hands. He had
Yes.
I really like
laser
the artwork.
beams,
I like the
and-
artwork on this one. I do.
Yes, the artwork on this one gets definitely an A+ for this one.
JT would have loved the finger rockets, the claw rockets, because the thing is, JT, Mechagodzilla had a flourish. He had a flourish. The hand would spin, and then he would, it would spin.
Right. That's right.
And then he would fire the rockets into Godzilla, and it was a big, pretend I said bad words, gesture to Godzilla. Pretend I said bad words, and a big. Starting with F, and it's just like, take that. I am your cybernetic superior. You know what I mean, JT?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And honestly, for the most of the film, look, when you first see it, and particularly when you're a kid, I think Dave will back me up. We were not quite sure Godzilla was going to make it through this fight, because this was a down and dirty fight.
Well, and after how many movies have you had where you're like, okay, who's Godzilla going to beat this time? You know, then you have something like this. It legitimately makes you fear for Godzilla all over again, right?
Well, that's the thing about the Megalon fight, even though that one turned out to be a pretty tough fight for him as well. And Jet Jaguar had to come save him and all that. But I think the Hedorah and the Mechagodzilla, I'm trying to think of the one, and the Gigan, right?
Yeah.
Those are my top. Oh, man, you actually thought, I mean, you kind of knew he was going to make it, but you never really know, right? When you're watching these.
Right.
But, those were the top ones. And you're right on, JT. This was one where you thought maybe this would be the end. Or somebody had to help him. You know, he got a lot of help around the way from a few people, right? Mothra came in to save him one time, right? Stuff like that. So. Any other?
Well,
cool.
He got the stuffing kicked out of him in this film.
Oh yeah.
And this, I mean, he got his clock cleaned, and he still came out on top. And I would rather see that versus, again, I apologize, JT. Let's just throw Worf at them to prove how tough these new aliens are.
That's funny, dude. Yeah. I got me sniffling on that one, man. Thank you, Daniela.
Hello, Daniela.
Sorry, my eyes are a little shot. I hope I said that correctly in the chat. Subscribe. Thank you so much for being here. My first live stream. Again, for everybody out there. Let me give a good quick thank you for that while you guys are talking. Or not. Let's see. Cool. So yeah, I guess it's a good vision that they show that Godzilla does take an ass whipping every now and then. You know, it's a good thing, right? Because you don't want him to just be wiping everybody out. That would get boring. Kind of problems in superhero movies or especially in the comics. I guess I don't know. Too many of the characters don't go through a lot of things until you know the last 15, 20 years. So they automatically get bona fides without earning them, right?
Right on. But you don't want him. You don't want him to be Worfzilla either.
No,
and just get his ass kicked all the time.
All right. No, you don't want to see that, right? You want to see him whoop some butt. But you know, it does show that he's not made of steel, right?
Right.
You know, and we saw that a couple of times before. With the Hedorah, we actually starting bleeding. Going back to where Hungary was talking about, where Toho didn't like some of the aspects of that movie. With I don't want to spoil alert for anybody who wants to go back. I wouldn't let kids watch Hedorah unless they're young teens or whatever. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not an expert at that kind of stuff, but yeah, Hedorah does some bad stuff to people. So,
and also there's Toho did have a right to complain about hallucinogenic substances being employed in the plot of the movie, even though it was very subtle. But you don't need. I mean, okay, let's be honest. I saw Yellow Submarine when I was 4 years old, and there's no way that movie was not absolutely an endorsement of hallucinogenic psychotronic substances. I mean, the blue meanies, God, come on.
Yeah, right.
I love the movie, but I kind of wish I was 14, not 4 when I saw it. You know?
All right, guys. And last but not least is the follow-up, Rocky 2, Terror of Mechagodzilla. Like I said, just basically round 2, the aliens are pissed. They're going to come back and do it again.
Mm.
It was a pretty good one as far as I remember. There's another alien plot, as I said, and then have I think it's Titanosaurus.
Titanosaurus.
Yeah,
Titanosaurus.
Sorry, and they want to wipe out all humanity. Right. So
yeah,
the plot thickens even more because they're here to. The aliens are here, want to take over. You know, nothing new, but again, Godzilla has to step up to the plate and take care of business. I don't know about the art on this one.
Can we
the
see it a
colors
bit closer?
are great.
Can we see it a bit closer? Oh yeah, the colors are good.
The colors are good. They have a lot of text or bubble. I would call it bubble text, not in bubbles, like old Batman, kapow, bang stuff.
Yeah, it's trying to be comic book art without actually having learned how to do comic book art. So
right, it's way too much of it. I don't know if they actually asked anybody how to write that in Roman. Boochie Booch.
In comic books proper.
Anybody can help me with that?
We used to have. We used to have professional people called letterers in comic books, and I was friends with all my letterers, and their only job was to actually do the lettering properly and make it very clear and impactful, but make sure it didn't get in the way of the artwork, you know? And clearly this person was not a letterer.
No. Tinkle. It says Tinkle in the near the spine there. You see in the middle. You see it right above the purple building. It says Tinkle.
Do it. Yeah, Tinkle D Tinkle. What the heck? Wee, there's a wee in there. That's a good one. Oh, it says wee and Tinkle D.
Well, tinkle is a metaphor and euphemism for wee. So yeah, I mean, have a little tinkle. Don't drink too much coffee. You might have to tinkle a bit. So why is that supposed to be in a horrifying scene in a Godzilla movie?
Copyopia, I don't know. There's not any of you pew pew in here would have been better.
Yeah,
right?
These are not sounds I would make as a kid.
No.
With Godzilla. No. Never.
Okay, but the colors are cool. And if you just had the top 3 right there with all, and maybe just 1 or 2 of those, but this is another good page. And then you got all the people running around, and there's your dark purple again, right? Which really contrasts to the fire. So other than the words,
I give the art crazy. And I give the art an A. I give the lettering a D-.
Yeah, it doesn't get enough because it's actually funny.
Yeah.
the art is definitely an A. I didn't see any blue on Godzilla. Now that I'm thinking, his flame, I don't think he had any flames that were yellow. Yeah.
Oh, never.
I'm sorry. Little bit of tinge yellow there. I guess they didn't want to use orange because they wanted to have some contrast to that beautiful purple, magenta, red in the back. Everybody says they forgot the balloons. Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Right on, it's like it reminds me of the old Biff Powell Pang from the Batman 66 series, right?
Yep.
But they fudged it up, to say the least. Right? But it's
they fudged it.
They fudged that. But yeah, if that was all gone, the art, amazing. So we get so we get a really, really cool page here. I'll leave it on the full screen.
I love it. Love it.
I'm going to go to this one first because it's just, sorry for moving it around too much, guys. About the transfers, special thanks, acknowledgments, and good one here, production credits, film licensing, copyrights. There's your Toho for everybody.
Yeah.
All right. And then you see that at the bottom too, right? See who that is? Universal.
Where?
Yeah,
Hold
we
on.
got the Universal logo in there too.
Oh, that other page. Yeah. I was looking at the art.
I'm kind of wondering why that's even in there. If anybody could help me, maybe it's a timeline between Toho and Universal Pictures, because this is all, I guess Universal had got into releasing on most of these later in years, or even from the beginning. I'm not sure. Toho Pictures, but released by Universal. Not sure how that works. Maybe for another discussion. And then we get into another kind of really cool display back page, but it doesn't show his face or anything, and it doesn't really need to, right?
It shows his size, his majesty, and the horror of him moving through your city.
Yeah,
that's what it shows.
Behind the big either a blood sign,
Japanese red sun.
Yep. So that one's a pretty cool one as well. And you got him as the dark green, really, and the spikes and everything. I like that. I really like that. Up against the sun like that in the blue. So the colors in this book are magnificent. The quality is outstanding. And then we get to the
wow,
the Blu-rays.
Wow. Oh my God.
On this cover page, yeah, which is
that is kind
of like the front one, but it extended.
So are all of the discs in the back here, or were there some of the front, some of the back?
No, all in the back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. And I can't wait to actually skip all the movies because I've seen them. Although I might watch them one by one, and then I want to get to whatever production commentaries or anything they have. Honda, I hope they have some stuff from Ishiro Honda on there, or Fukada and a couple of those guys. That would be the bonus, right, of getting this. Not just having them in the Blu-ray, but to get that bonus content. But there it is, guys. And then the back page again. That's actually one of the best ones, I think.
Agreed.
The Mechagodzilla one was really good. I like that one. A couple of the earlier ones. Son of Godzilla against the worst. My favorite. One of my favorite ones against the worst on the art for me. That sucks. But this is beautiful. I mean, you could display this like, I would actually display this open on the shelf, right?
Right.
So other than that, now I've just got to watch them and do another video on each one, right? So you can do a little bit more in depth on each one. So what do you think, guys? Something you might want to go back and watch, JT? Some of these?
Oh yeah, I just don't have the Blu-ray set like you do. That's the one issue.
It's a lot cheaper. I got this pretty cheap. I won't say how much. It was like 100. Well, it was like 100 something, and I've seen some cheaper than I paid already. When Godzilla -1 came out, everybody wanted to grift on the price. So, I mean, not grift, exploit it and jack up the prices. But yeah, I mean, you can get this at a fairly, I think for what you get, the quality of this book again is outstanding. The artwork is outstanding, except for a few things here and there. But the colors are amazing how they did it. So I'm very impressed. Very impressed. Overall, it gets an A, I think.
And that last page you showed before you closed the book,
sure,
that holds the discs, the page that holds the discs.
That double one, yeah.
Double page spread. That design, that actual artistic intention, the way that is presented is just pure gold. No, platinum, not gold, platinum. It's platinum. And I just love it. I adore it. The thought, the consideration that went into it, magnificent.
Yes,
Magnificent.
I agree. This is a total A plus, even though the Son of Godzilla one sucked. But I'm so disappointed in that one.
I know.
Man. I wanted that one to be one of the best ones, but it still gets an A plus. I mean, it's fantastic. I totally recommend it, JT, if you can get this.
Sure.
I obviously haven't. I almost don't even want to take them out, but obviously I will. And probably just blast through these, and maybe I'll do. If you guys want to do some reviews, JT, you want to catch up and try to. Hungry probably doesn't need to watch any of these. He can recite everything on them.
That much is
right?
probably true.
Right.
He's like, and they turn down this street, and then Godzilla knocks down this building in this scene here, which is 32 floors. And yeah.
But if you guys
mock me as you wish.
So now that I've got my shoulder workout holding this damn thing up for the last hour and a half, dude,
now you have to hold it up on the other side for an hour and a half to get the other shoulder going.
No problem at all. I'm gonna be busting out. Where'd it go? Where'd you go? Oh, sorry. That's why I got my roller chair. That one. Soon. I've been holding off for a while. That's going to be really, really cool. But do you guys remember some of the old, for people out there in the chat that can remember some of the production value of the earlier ones?
Oh, yeah.
Was so funny that they had the little stage set, especially when the fire department or the army vehicles were moving around the mountains, right? Mm-hmm. And you just have to go back now. And I can warn everybody who hasn't seen these movies, go watch all of these. And they're fantastic. You know, rainy day or whatever you want to do, even for the family, except for Hedera, for little ones, don't do that. But even go get the Raymond Burr one. That was Raymond Burr. Yeah.
Yes.
Just for contrast. But if you want to skip the Raymond Burr one, skip it, watch these, then go back and watch that one, however you want to do it. But I just remember some of the just hilarious production value where they had the street scenes and they wouldn't really have people, but they'd have little fire trucks going through the city.
Yep.
JT, I don't know if you remember these scenes where they tried their best, you know, and when they had the planes coming through, they were kind of, it was almost Jerry Anderson style back then, right?
Very Jerry Anderson.
Very Jerry Anderson with these planes, and they shoot little.
They were doing it before Jerry Anderson.
Before Jerry Anderson, right? We're talking mid 50s, and they did their absolute best, like Doctor Who did. But the style was so, like the trees, you could tell it's like a little model thing. It's all models, right? And they had the little planes, but when they would shoot, they'd shoot the rockets. It was freaking hilarious. Like a little spark would pop off the bottom, and it's like it's surprised it didn't blow up the plane itself, you know, the little toy plane. But the trucks would drive through and they'd fall over and slide because somebody would just tip the table over, right? They just shake the table like Godzilla was walking. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
You'd look at an explosion and you'd think, how many firecrackers did they had to buy to make that?
Oh, dude, it's great, man. It's so great. And the army, when they would line up with their multi-rocket launchers in the back and be like, choo, 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 just little.
And then Godzilla would breathe on the tanks, and you could actually see the fire from a blowtorch melting the tanks.
Yeah, they just melt, and you're like, oh, God, dude, that's so. But as a kid, when you're watching this 5-6 years old,
that's fantastic.
It's fantastic. But it doesn't seem that outdated to me now because I already know what it's going to be like, right? I'm prepared for it to be like that. And now it's pure nostalgia. It doesn't faze me at all to see that kind of production. You know, I could go back and watch these anytime. So
the only thing to back you up on that, Dave, and out of consideration for JT is for people who have never seen the original versions, you cannot see the fishing wire strings holding up the monsters, and you can't see them holding up the planes and the vehicles. But when they switched over to doing good film disc captures from the original film elements, okay, sometimes you can see the strings. I mean, really obviously.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. Yeah.
But Buddy had another excellent point. He goes that he even calls them out. It's Takara, which is still very much sought after for some of their models, especially I think Transformers, if I forgot that right. He said that at least they were accurate, and they were. They made them fairly size accurate to what they could. You know, if you had Godzilla coming in from the ocean like this, if these guys are trying to shoot, you know, they look small compared to him, right?
Yeah.
So they had pretty good vision and everything as far as vision. I mean, like seeing things ahead of time, how they were going to do all this stuff, even back then. And again, that's why G-1 is so damn good. Is their vision and caring, right? They actually cared to make a good movie and not just throw it out there. Yeah. So, any comments, questions?
Even going back to the early 1960s films, I know that the warships and I know that the planes looked dinky and they looked very silly, but the accuracy was there, just like you're talking about, Dave. They did get the designs as correct as they could, the attention to detail, the love of as much reality as they could put in to those ships on the wires. The planes on the wires, the ships being dragged, and they built one of the biggest artificial oceans ever to make Godzilla films. Godzilla films are the ones that created it.
Yeah, I give credit to the accuracy thing to Buddy in the chat there, because he had brought that up, and it's an excellent point that they really did try their hardest, right? You know, back then for what you had, and that's why it's still so prevalent today. That's why people still go back and watch them, even though they can be pretty goofy at times. But and I always liked how they had, like I said before, the different subplots, right? It wasn't always just Godzilla running around the Monster Island for 2 hours, just, you know, doing the same thing over and over. You had the kids, you had gangsters, you had aliens, you had
Michael Bay found out you can only do that for 4 movies before people lose interest, right? So.
Well, maybe he needs to buy this set and watch this.
Right on.
And then put it into his oh well, geez, don't get me going on some of that. But
well, yeah, I didn't mean. I just had to get my thing against Transformers in there. The new ones.
Even that's like me going out. I'll go after Ridley Scott for what he did to Aliens afterward. And I'm talking about Prometheus. Prometheus, everybody hated it, but if you go back and what's the one after? I don't even have it.
I just call it Prometheus 2. I don't know what the real name is.
Yeah, I don't know what they did in that was just horrendous. What they did for that. But any Godzilla related stuff?
JT?
Let's see. I don't think so. I really did enjoy that review / unboxing. That was cool. That was a lot of fun. So
yes. Well, you guys
thank you for doing it
out a lot. Thank you, and Dadman and everybody in the chat. Any final words, Hungry?
Yeah, I'm kind of let
it rip, man. I got plenty of time.
I honestly prefer the era of Gojira that you've been showing. And I will say, as much as I love Godzilla -1 and as much as I adore Shin Gojira, enough with the gigantic dorsal spines and the tail that is 3 times as long as the body. I'm done with that. I like the old proportions, man.
Yeah,
the old proportions.
Yeah, he's not too bad. It's a pretty big tail, but if you stood it up to his body, it's only about 2 inches taller, so it's not that big. It looks like a Shin almost from here, but it really isn't. It's because it curves like that.
Yeah,
like
but the
that. I
tail
like
and
the
shin
curve.
is much longer than that. Much
Oh,
longer by
it's
the end of the
ridiculous.
movie. Oh, and don't get me started on the pug dog head from the Legendary movies. That is not a Godzilla face. That's not. I like a lot of the elements of the Legendary movies. I cannot stand that design.
Buddy made a funny comment. I think
Would you rather
he's
have
funny.
that face design or the 13th Doctor again?
Covenant? Sorry. I don't even watch. I haven't even watched.
That was
any
for
of them.
Hungry.
You know my answer, JT. You know my answer.
Yeah, I think I do.
I was a Peter Capaldi fan from when I first saw Lair of the White Worm in the 1980s, and I was so thrilled when he became the Doctor. And then I see that face from Broadchurch when he's regenerating, and I had not even received any spoilers that Jodie was going to be taking over, and I just screamed at the television, "No!" Because I'd seen her in other things, you know. It's just like being an old Doctor Who fan, you know. Back in the 80s, Dave C, you know, I'm seeing for the first time. No, Tom Baker's regenerating. No, not you, Tom. No. Okay, well, maybe something good will be coming up. What the hell? Peter Davidson from All Creatures Great and Small? No.
And then you had another Baker after that, right?
Yeah, we had Colin Baker, not
Colin
related
Baker.
to Sean Baker, but he was still good, despite what other people say.
I like him. I liked him from what I've seen. Some of the ones I thought he was great.
Yeah, he was smart. He was snarky, but you know, he was still looking after the universe, still doing his best, not nagging us. I don't need to explain that.
No. But on that note, we've done an hour and 47. Not bad.
Right on.
Yeah,
not bad. I wanted 2 hours. I thought we'd go through, but you guys have helped me out amazingly. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. For everybody out in the chat who liked and subscribed, that's pretty damn awesome. A couple of my friends showed up and their family, and that was pretty cool of you. So if you're still out there for the 5 who are watching, thank you. But I think we'll wrap it up, and then maybe I'll decide to watch one at a time and do reviews on each one for fun. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I'm going to do the unboxing for -1 soon, maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after or something. We'll see. Any last words, thoughts?
JT?
Let's see. I was going to try to do an impression of, oh, look, it's Gojira, but I can't really do a good one.
Do the guy in bed. Gojira. What? Gojira. What's he saying? Gojira, damn it.
Yeah.
That's a Gojira. That's my version.
You are. I hope you're mocking the 1998 travesty right there.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Don't exist. It don't exist. Man. That movie don't exist.
I always like the fishing scene. I've said it before. I think the fishing scene at the beginning, it set the tone. It was great, man. You know, the old bum fishing off the pier. He catches Godzilla.
Yeah.
Nice. And then I don't know about the rest. So
they should have just called it Iguanodon and been done with it.
I actually watched the cartoon out there for everybody who doesn't know that has that.
It was a good written cartoon. Yeah, well written. Yeah.
The 90210 guy voiced one of the main characters. In every episode, he would say, "Go, go, go." Every freaking episode. It's funny. But that wasn't bad. I mean, as far as a cartoon with that design, that had the iguana design. Right.
I could forgive it for that, but that was more interesting and had better plot lines than the movie. So
plot lines in the movie.
A lot of times, JT knows this as well as you know. Sometimes the animation does better, even though it doesn't get the same respect.
This is true.
And then maybe you can remind me. I think there was an HBO animated version, a very serious one. I guess these people went out into space because Earth was either getting destroyed by Godzilla or the monsters or something. And then they come back and he's a huge atomic Godzilla at this point, and the Earth is basically, back into old days, like way back and stuff like that. There's only a few people even living there. They didn't even think. Do you guys remember that? It's HBO or something did that?
I don't know if it was HBO, but I saw 2 of them. I think there were 3 of them. Buddy will know, but I saw at least 2 of them. And it didn't do much for me because, look, I'm an illustrator, so if the visual design bugs the hell out of me, I'm not going to be able to stick with it much,
Yeah.
And the design was so pudgy. It's like, look, Goji, how many cheesecakes have you eaten in the past year?
What I think one of the art. Speaking of some of these, one of the Godzillas got really fat, right?
Yeah.
The haunches were just ridiculously huge. They quickly got away from that, trimmed him up a little bit. Maybe it was the 2016 or before, way before that, something like that. But
well, I mean, the thighs in Shin Gojira were mercilessly mocked on the internet, mercilessly mocked, because there's the one scene in Shin Gojira where he's coming out of the water in his final form, and you see the top and you're thinking, oh, that's great. And then you see him from the belly down and you're thinking, oh no, oh no, no.
oh, so buddy says it's Godzilla Planet of the Monsters, the recolonization animated movie. Yeah.
That's
and
then there was a recent Netflix one that was done in conjunction with Toho.
That might have been a recent one.
Yeah, recent, like 2021, maybe 2022.
So I don't have the old Netflix for reasons, but that's okay. Yeah.
Well, neither do I for reasons.
Yep.
Yeah, and same reasons, but one of the complaints there, because I do occasionally check things out before I decide to invest my time into something, right? And so there were 10 episodes, all of them more than 23 minutes each long. And apparently you add up all those 10 episodes, that's 230 minutes or more. There's 7 minutes of Godzilla. No, I'm not doing that.
Right. That's what they did it the complete opposite way. I know what you mean. Yeah. And then at the end when he just went all crazy. I guess we'll wrap it up for Godzilla. Sure. Save some of the other stuff for next time. Unless you guys have anything else in particular you want to bring up.
Let's see. I just would like to plug one more time Wednesday night, if I may.
Yes, absolutely.
Sure. So Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be a special guest on Dadman's channel with Daisy Blossom as they review Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, or as I like to call it, the best movie of all time. So in this Dadman's, I think, second ever watching of the movie, separated by 40 years, something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah. So this should be a good show. So Wednesday evening, we would love to see you over there.
Yeah, is Daisy still on with you?
Guys, you can't.
Yes.
Good.
Without being a moderator, you won't be able to link that. Is that correct?
Correct.
I can link it or do what I do. You can type it in there. Is Dadman Walking 55?
Yes, the channel is Dadman Walking 55.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you search him up in YouTube, you will definitely find him.
He's going to promote the hell out of that. He's still been promoting the hell out of that. You'll be able to go on to Tweety and see. I mean, he's very good at promoting. I'm not mocking him at all. I'm not mocking, dude. I'm not mocking. But if you go to if you just look up Dadman Walking 55 on Tweety, and you look at his stream and you follow him for just a couple of days, he will have the link on YouTube for anyone who wants to see JT and Daisy and Dadman discuss this movie, and you will be able to enjoy all of their wisdom and sagacity regarding this magnificent film.
Yeah, I'm going to buy a lounge chair, some popcorn, and sit back and watch the frickin' fireworks.
And it honestly, Ricardo Montalban was not in his spring chicken years when he made this, but my God, he kicked ass in this movie.
Oh yeah.
And he's still a very sexy man, and I'm a straight dude, so it's all good.
Right. I agree.
He's a very sexy man, you know.
I agree. And like, I know you're going to bring it up, JT, so I got to bring it up now. When he looks at the camera and says, with his face all burned at the end of the movie, "I spit at thee." Oh,
Nice.
I wonder how many takes they did of that. Like, oh man.
I bet he got it in one take.
Yeah, very well could have. So I'll have some extra material that I am researching before the show Wednesday. Some making of, some interviews, some things like that. So hopefully I have some kernels, tidbits of info we can drop in there. My biggest fear is so many people love this movie. I don't want to say anything wrong about it. And
well, there is one thing you can say wrong about it, because a lot of people get easily grossed out. You know, I don't, JT. You know, I don't. There is one aspect of the movie, and I'm sorry, you guys, this movie, like, I saw it in 82. I don't know when it came out for other people, but look, if you don't like squirmy, maggoty bugs going into people's ears, you're going to have a problem with one scene.
One of the great scenes of that movie. That's one of the best scenes.
I mean, JT, come on. The film had guts. It had guts to do things that emotionally we didn't like, but it had guts to have big old nasty maggots going into people's ears.
Right.
Oh, dude. That was such a great. Well, yeah, no spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen it. And JT, what I did is I copy and pasted it from the private chat and I posted it on the comments, and it did link.
Good.
Awesome. So, thank you. Thank you
until
much.
I get good at this stuff. So however that worked, it worked that way.
Cool. So, well, thank you much.
And if you guys want to be mods, I'll mod you afterwards.
Awesome.
No worries. But again, without any spoilers, if any of you are prone to picking up the Kleenex with a tear in your eye, and you have not seen Wrath of Khan yet, it doesn't matter if you know nothing about Star Trek. If you get to the end of this movie, have a box of Kleenex. You're going to be crying.
Yeah, I can't wait for this, and JT and Danman on the same panel discussing this.
Yeah, it's going to be I hope Daisy is going to be able to rein it in there, because otherwise it could get crazy.
There are some very heavy emotional moments in that movie. Even I know the Academy of Arts and Sciences in Hollywood don't want to give it ever any attention, JT, because science fiction can never receive an Oscar. But
Blade Runner.
But there were so many there were so many moments of true drama, not melodrama, JT. True drama in Wrath of Khan, that I just think it's atrocious. It's not been given even more love than it's already been given.
Yeah.
Well, to a certain point, yes, but then some people try to give it love, and then you get Into Darkness, which was truly Into Darkness for Star Trek. Not what they thought it meant by going into darkness. But anyway, Dave, we're going to hijack your show, and this is going to be like a 3-hour Star Trek marathon.
We're done with Godzilla. Everybody out there, we still have 5 watching. We're rambling on. We're not rambling on, but JT and Dadman are doing this thing on Wednesday, and you should tune into this. There shouldn't be any reason why I miss it. I'm definitely going to be there. What time does it start, JT?
9 p.m. Eastern.
9 p.m. Eastern.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to it, man. It's going to be. I know for a fact that he is watching it. He's trying to watch it today, and he's going to do that today, or at least by tomorrow or Wednesday. So.
And also, JT, I know, Into Darkness is a very problematic film. I understand that, but I have to say, I do like Benediction Cumberbund as an actor.
That's funny.
Take a
I
moment.
have
It's
my
a-
issues with that too. But
you couldn't even laugh. Come on.
No,
Benediction
no.
Cumberbatch. No,
Terrible.
man, you
I
are a
have another
purist.
name
I
for
love
him
that.
that I can't say, but
Look, in
Wow.
Sherlock, he
Hmm.
was great, but no, casting him as Khan, no. I get you. You're probably going to have a lot to say when you get to the discussion moment on Wednesday, but he could have been cast in a lot of other sci-fi movies, a lot of other science fiction movies, but
Dude, let's not get into casting what just happened yesterday. Are you look, even for me, that as soon as I saw that, I was like, what? No, why?
you're not talking about RDJ, are you?
Absolutely, I'm talking about that. Are you effing kidding? I mean, I don't know what other people think that might be a great idea. That's okay. I certainly as hell don't. I don't care how good he is at it. Why? Money? Is it money? They know that everybody will want to see it just because he's doing it, whether he's going to be good at it or not. There's got to be some other people out there that can play an evil role as Dr. Doom. I mean,
there are so many other may I bitch and moan for one moment?
Yeah, sure. We just lost two people watching.
Oh no, that's my fault. I apologize.
No, that's me. We're not doing Godzilla anymore, and I'm ranting on Dr. Doom casting, so it's all good. But it is Monday night here, so 10 o'clock p.m.
The thing with Marvel is when they're looking at characters created after a certain point in the comic book history, right? Like, let's say after 1985, they're happy to hire European actors and non-American actors. But when it comes to the characters that were created in the 60s, they're going to hire the wrong people.
I'm going to do a stream where we sit back and talk about how Hollywood is doing it now, really. And I brought it up before. So there's got to be a circle or a square or a freaking rectangle, a board meeting of people who sit around here, and they have to tell other people, no, we're not doing that. That's ridiculous. And the only time that they would have to eat their words is that they've gone too far in production. They've gone too far in filming. They've gone too far in spending on advertising, pre-advertising before they even finished the damn movie. And they didn't have any vision to begin with. Do you remember when Tom Cruise got cast as Lestat?
Oh, I have been bitching about that since the movie came out. Yes.
He did do a pretty good job, but at the time, I wouldn't have wanted him to do that role. It was supposed to be
Rutger Hauer. It was supposed to be Rutger Hauer.
Oh wow. I did not know that.
And that was Anne Rice's first choice.
Well, she flipped out about it, and then she caved later. She already sold it in, so she didn't have a choice. Right?
Yeah.
She didn't have a choice on who it was going to be. But I think this might, I think he's a great actor, Downey Jr., right? I think he'll do a good job. I just don't want to see him as Dr. Doom. I just don't. And I'm not even as big as a comic book Fantastic Four as millions of other people. And I don't want to see it. Some people will probably be like, oh, give him a chance. Well, I don't have a choice in that. So, but he would not have been my first pick.
I worked in the comic book industry, and I've been in love with the Fantastic Four since 1976. But let me tell you, when I heard Heath Ledger was going to play the Joker, I was horrified. And then I saw the movie.
I'm the opposite. When I saw him do that, I thought about it. I said, oh, I was the absolute opposite of the Tom Cruise thing. And I thought he would do a good job. I didn't know it was going to be that good. I thought it would fit. Like Reynolds being Deadpool after that horrifying Green Lantern, right?
Wolverine Origins.
Yeah. No, the Green Lantern one-off.
Oh, the Green Lantern. Okay.
The Green Lantern one-off. And you thought, okay, well, that was a shite movie. But that makes sense for him being Deadpool. It almost fits him a little bit. right?
Yeah.
I think people are going to say, "Oh, you're so wrong, Dave. Robert Downey Jr. It fits Doctor Doom. He can pull off Doctor Doom." I'm not saying he can't. I already said that he could. I just don't want to see him do it.
Yeah, no, I get you. I get you. But he's actually done some indie movies that I really enjoy that lead me to believe that if it actually happens, and I don't believe anything's going to happen just because there's an announcement, that it could work. But I think there are so many other actors, particularly from Europe, that could do a better job. And let's face it, Latveria is basically a metaphor for Eastern Yugoslavia, Slovenia, Bulgaria. Latveria is a metaphor for people behind the Iron Curtain in the late 50s throughout the 60s to the 70s. And so you need somebody who can be terrifying just with speaking your name and demanding, why do you dare to ask an audience with me?
Yeah.
That is Dr. Doom.
Yeah. And I'm sure you're going to have a lot of people on my side and some people are halfway in between and other people who are going to be, I'm just being a jerk. I think it's just,
you're not.
You get actor burnout, right?
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. It just looks weird to me that he would do it. But all right, it'll probably rake in millions. It's going to. It will. I predict it will. Unless
I'll be honest, I'm going to see the movie because I just, oh God.
Well, be careful. Be careful. We don't know what it's going to look like right now, right? We don't know if they're going to flub it up, as they have been. But I don't think they're going to be screwing around with it too much if he actually does the Doctor Doom, right?
It can't be as bad as the Eternals. It can't be as bad as
I never watched it. Even Mark D with a C said he hated it. I would never even touch that with a 10-foot pole. If that guy says he hated it, then I know it sucks.
Yeah. Oh, Mark is far more forgiving than you and I. Far more.
Yeah, exactly. JT, did you ever see Eternals?
I did not see the Eternals. No.
Yeah, I haven't watched I haven't watched a lot of any of this stuff, like even the Loki.
Made hungry go on you.
I saw the first season of Mandalorian, and that is all the Star Wars Disney I've seen. I just don't even really care to. So, but
yeah,
who knows?
No, that was that the Eternals is borrowed from Clobby, by the way. So I just wanted to put that out there, but I love it so much I had to reuse it. So,
well, I remember when Gary or whoever else wants to take credit over Gary for MCU. Oh yeah, it might have even been Clobby or Gary started that like 4 years ago before it really became to the point where people understood what they were saying.
Right.
I think Hungry's muted.
He is, but I made him laugh probably a little too hard, and so now he's having to deal with it. But
and I could go back even.
I had to cough up a lung. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you made him laugh. That's what JT was saying. He made you laugh. We were talking. I was just kind of reflecting on. I think they're going to be very, very extra cautious on the woke crap and all this stuff if they sign him to do Dr. Doom. They're not gonna. It's still gonna be in there, but let's hope it's not as bad. And I haven't seen a lot of these, but I don't need to. You know, they're not gonna mess it up as bad as some of these other ones, right?
Yes.
If he signs, right? I mean, he's gonna go along with them though. So
Robert Downey Jr. has a capacity to portray, if he wants to, and he's allowed to portray a man as vicious and unforgiving and as sinister as Doom is. So the question is he going to be allowed to portray that in that manner?
Well, that's the problem I'm reflecting on now is and you heard me say it, I think he will do a great job. I really do. And maybe I'll change my mind and say, okay, you know what, the hell with it. You know, the heck with it. Maybe I'll even go see it myself, go to the movies, which I rarely do these days.
But if there's no Latvian accent, I'm out. I am out. I will slam the hell out of it because Dr. Doom is not an American citizen. And that was the main problem I had in the 2004 and 2005 movies. Okay. He's not an American citizen. And he doesn't speak like that. If he speaks like anything, he's speaking like Bela Bloody Lugosi from 1939.
Oh, Bela Lugosi could do a good Doom, maybe. I don't know, in his younger days. Yeah, people are talking about Ralph Fiennes.
Yeah,
and I don't know, Idris Elba maybe, and it's not because of
Ray
the
Fiennes.
not checking the box. I think he's a good actor, but who'd you say?
Ray Fiennes.
Ray Fiennes. Ray Fiennes has been popping up a lot. If people say, no, why didn't you just get Ray Fiennes? Well, maybe he didn't want to, or maybe it's almost like they picked him just so you could get people like me to go see it. Right.
Yeah. So you would say there's a term I don't like, but I accept that the term is accurate. The term is stunt casting, where it's like, we use this name, we know we'll get you to see the film.
Is that
Do
what
you
it's
think
called?
it's a bit of
stunt casting?
You think
I
it's
don't
a bit
know.
of stunt?
Sorry.
Do you think it's a bit of stunt casting getting him to come back? Because
Absolutely. What do you I mean, come on. What do you think, JT? I think it is. I mean, I might be wrong. I might be way off out of line here, but I can't see it any other way. Other than they think he'll do a great job. But still, maybe it's a little stunt casting.
Yeah. I guess it's not enough to get me to go to the film. I'll say that much.
There you go. There, JT says he's not even gonna watch it.
Yeah. I mean, maybe if it's free on a streaming platform, but that's about it. But
if I've always been the type to say, judge for yourself. We all do, right? But for the stuff that's come out, you're going to have to do better. I think even with the Robert Downey, and that's almost a turn off. Although I'm thinking about it more and more, and like you, Hungry, maybe I'll go see it and do a review on it. I don't know. It's not really my shtick, but it can be. I love movies. I love, science fiction, fantasy, and all that. So maybe I'll incorporate that kind of stuff if I do go see that kind of thing, and then find out. I just don't know. I mean, if they're going to make a good movie and he can save it, right?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Who's going to do the other characters? Who's going to do Johnny? I mean, who's going to do those guys?
I'll be honest with you.
Do Sue Storm?
I'm well, apparently Vanessa Kirby's doing Sue Storm, but I don't want to keep JT here too much longer.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
I got to drop, guys. I'm
gonna wrap it up, man. Dude, thank you so much for being here. My first one.
Yeah, no, it was a pleasure, and thank you for thinking of me for being on your number one. That's awesome. So
no worries, man.
And Hungry, pleasure as always hanging out with you, sir. And
right on.
Dave, here's to 1,000, right? So
absolutely. Oop, I need to
right.
No, we're good.
It's empty. All right. Thank you. And thank you to everybody in the chat for joining. And I will talk to you all later. Thanks.
See you Wednesday then.
Yes. All righty. Take care. Bye.
Bye. And then there were two.
And then there were two. But there can only be one.
Yeah.
That was a good one too.
Oh, but I mean, I get exactly what you're saying. However, there is a time when you can have, let's say there are 5 main members of a cast, and 3 of them are just yuck, and one of them is and another one is like, all right. And if you know what I mean, you got the all right factor. Because, I mean, I'll be honest, I know we're not allowed to talk about this movie anymore, but Tropic Thunder, and
love it.
Robert Downey Jr. was one of the people that made Tropic Thunder for me, but there were so many other cast members that meant nothing to me. And I thought, you're just saying the lines to help the movie plot along and say the jokes. And when it got to him, and as much as, look, we can talk about Tom Cruise, but Tom Cruise was hilarious in Tropic Thunder.
A lot of people didn't know that was him. Lex
Really?
Grossman. Oh yeah, they didn't know for a long time. I didn't even realize it for a while until like somebody I saw it, like I bought it. I have it. It's like, that's freaking Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
I want you over there. You, what's your name? I want you to walk over there and punch him in the head really, really hard.
Yeah.
And the dance.
It was amazing to watch that. The dance was fantastic, especially in the end credits.
Yeah, the end credits dance.
I mean, we can bitch about Tom Cruise all we like, but that boy can dance. He got the rhythm. He got the rhythm.
Talk about being in character for that.
Yeah.
Dance. That was a Lex Grossman dance, man.
Yeah.
Right? That wasn't Tom Cruise. That was Lex Grossman.
he was channeling the script, man. It took over his body, made him perform. And there are times, look, you probably never saw a film by Robert Downey Jr. called Fur, F-U-R, Fur. It's an indie movie. I believe it had Nicole Kidman in it. I think, if I'm I've been up for 25 hours, dude. I'm slaughtered here. No, it's okay. I'm going to keep going. But the thing is that this was an amazing movie, and it really showed the depth of nuance that Robert Downey Jr. can bring about, because he played someone who was born with that condition where someone becomes hirsute, like what they used to refer to as the dog boy in the carnival. And in the movie, his character was a dog boy in the carnival. Okay.
Oh, wow.
And it is a very deep damn movie. It is deep. It is a bit rough to take. And he is friends with all his other carnival people who don't fit into normal life, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And it is an amazing film. So I think he does have the depth, the absolute depth to play Victor Von Doom. But if that accent is not there, I know it's not going to be RDJ making that decision. I know it's going to be those stupid head honchos at Marvel Studios making another damn stupid decision.
Yeah, that's my only fear. Okay, so if he does sign, I'm assuming he is after that announcement, barring anything major that he has to drop out. Will it be enough? I mean, people are going to go see it just because he's doing it. Some people aren't going to go see it because they don't like it, like me. I'm going to wait and see what the rest is going to be like. I don't like trailers, though.
I hate trailers these days.
I hate trailers. Yeah. I have a saying that it used to be back in the day. I'll probably say this again. Sorry. It used to be back in the day. I would never watch trailers because I didn't want it to ruin a good movie. Now I'll watch trailers because I know I'm not going to go see it because it's going to be a bad movie.
I do that too. I admit that. But if it's a movie I think there's a 10% chance I might see, I don't watch the trailer just in case.
Right. I won't watch any of the Deadpool Wolverine. I might go see it tomorrow or Wednesday, sometime this week, catch a matinee,
Yeah, me too.
Just go get go take one of these days where I'm trying to get back in shape and go get a hot dog and buttered popcorn and a Coke or a Pepsi or whatever the hell they got.
Yeah.
And just write that off as one of my entertainment days, which is every day now, apparently.
Right.
So,
but I mean, this is one of the problems with modern trailers. See, when we were growing up, the trailer would imply what the movie was. It wouldn't just show you scenes from the movie with the best parts and the best jokes. And if a movie has a lot of comedy element, and Deadpool is going to have a lot of comedy element, I do not want to hear the best lines before I see the dang movie.
God, no. Why would you? I would tell people who said, "Oh, I love trailers." I was like, okay, but it's Deadpool Wolverine. And what you just said is the exact reason, the quote for quote, I would tell somebody, why in the hell, if you're going to go see a Deadpool Wolverine movie with Ryan Reynolds, Deadpool Part 3, right? Whatever they want to call it, why would you want to watch any of the trailers at all?
Right.
You know you're going to go see it. If it sucks, it sucks. If it's great, it's great. But why would you? I remember when the trailers for Lord of the Rings, the original Lord of the Rings, not the Hobbit, when it first came out, that I would cover up my eyes and ears.
Oh yeah, I did that too. Yeah.
No freaking way do I want to see any of these. And you can't help it. Commercials there. You know, the advertisement for Lord of the Rings, you couldn't walk anywhere without seeing McDonald's cups, anywhere, anything you did. So you saw pictures of, you know, the Hobbits, you saw pictures of Elrond, whoever, pick anybody. They're all there, right? And you got to see them. But it's in fact, let me show you. It's over there. I still have my original Lord of the Rings Hobbit wrapped up in plastic when I had as a kid.
Wow.
Yeah, one of the first books I ever read that I can even remember reading. And the first movies I ever saw were Star Wars, Part 4, obviously, with my mom. And I'm going to be honest with you, it's hard to remember any other movies until later on that I actually went to the movies.
When you say Star Wars Part 4, you mean actual Star Wars, not A New Hope, right?
Yeah, no. Yeah, Star Wars 4, Part 4, the original Part 4. 1977.
That's what I meant.
Yeah. Everybody here knows what we're doing.
I'm just joking because it's not A New Hope. When it took 2 hours and 21 minutes for my family to see that dang movie, okay? It said Star Wars on the movie poster. It said Star Wars on the ticket. It is always going to be Star Wars. It is not A New Hope.
Yeah, I got
they can repackage it.
Yeah, I got the 6 here.
Right.
Well, I bought this a while ago, so. So yeah, 1, 2, 3. I forget the names, to be honest with you. I just go 4, 5, 6, and everybody knows what I'm talking about, right? So when you've got 4, you know, boom,
right on.
I was a little pissed they didn't have Chewie in there.
Yeah, true.
I mean, you've got to have Chewie in the droids, right? But what they did is they had the Yoda on the next one.
Oh, lovely.
They had, but no Chewie, man. There's no Chewie. Where's Chewie? It pisses me off. You know, he always got a buy. He didn't even get a medal, right? Until later.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody talked about that for centuries. I mean, decades. Decades. You screwed him over, man. Right? He was one of the most loyal characters in the whole damn movie.
Yeah,
but anyway, I digress on that one because I almost popped this in the other day, but that jackass has to keep running his mouth. But anyway, I try not to let that ruin something that was part of my childhood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't take that away from me, but
no,
they do the complete saga and they've got Anakin on the front.
Oh,
and I'm like, I know you're doing the 1, 2, 3, but that's not the way it goes, man. That's not, you know what I'm getting at. Am I being too ridiculous or?
No, I don't think you're being too ridiculous. I don't.
Yeah. I mean, come on. But anyway.
But I mean, that goes back to what I mean, it's about reconstructing the way things actually happened. And with the Fantastic Four movie, the 2 comic books that meant the most to me in my entire life were the X-Men and the Fantastic Four. And I know a lot of people like I like a lot of ones very close in my ranking to those, and including some DC comic books. But the first 2 I love most are the X-Men and the Fantastic Four. The Fantastic Four is coming out soon, and they're working on the X-Men for after that. And I'm just kind of dreading it a little bit. I mean, I am looking forward to the Fantastic Four, but this whole alternate universe thing, just have the guts to make a movie that's set in the 1960s. The 1960s were not that horrible. They weren't that horrible.
Oh, you mean like a retro Fantastic Four? That would be so cool.
Yeah.
You know,
that's what it's supposed to be.
Marcus.
That's what the movie's supposed to be. But apparently It's being set in an alternate reality. It's more of this multiverse bullpucky. And
Yeah.
no,
So what are the plot lines leaking for a multiverse? What are they going to
could
try to
be
do?
anything. Look, I mean, the moment you deal with multiverse plots, nothing they say publicly is going to mean anything until you see the movie. What you see in the movie is what's going to be there.
Yeah, and when you talk about multiverse, it's like you're blending in other. How would you describe it? Hungry, you're blending in, you're bringing in other universes
And
as
other
compared as
iterations of ourselves and other characters in movies that exist in alternate timelines,
alternate timelines. Yeah,
and alternate space timelines. So the idea of the multiverse is that you, Dave, who are talking to me right now, and myself, who is in turn talking to you, we don't matter because there are millions and millions of alternative versions of us in the multiverse because there are
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. If you're going to bring in Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom, like you said, you don't need a multiverse plot. Make a
No.
good one right here because he's here. And if you want to do some space travel or something or another, okay, fine. Don't be bringing in a bunch of other characters though. I don't want to see. Oh, God forbid. Cap. What's her name? You know what I'm getting. I don't want to see them interjecting a bunch of other people
Right.
just because. There's no reason if you don't have a good writer, good production, that you. If you want to make him Doom, then obviously you're going to have to focus on him now. If that's that's the guy who's going to be him, well, then you probably should write the whole damn movie around him.
Well, I mean, it comes down to, do you really want to do the real versions of the characters or the fake versions? And I hate to say this, I'm an old fuddy-duddy, but every multiverse alternative version of a character is a fake version of that character. A fake version.
It's going to be interesting. I think I will go see it if I see that you or a bunch of other people are commenting positively on the rest of the cast or how they fit. But if you go off, you start going off on you or Mark or JT, he said he's not going to go see it just because of that. Go off on the multiverse or just bringing in too many people on it. I'll probably wait for it to go on pay-per-view or HBO or something later. You know what I mean?
Oh,
but
yeah.
I am interested, so they might have me on the hook just because. But I'm probably not going to go in with an open mind on it like I would normally do, you know, because I go to the movies to have fun. I'm not going in there to judge shit. I'm not going in there to be an a-hole. I'm not going in there to review it for my YouTube channel, although I might start doing that in the future, but for fun. But I'll always be honest. I think if I ever did that, I'll tell people right in the front, I didn't go in with an open mind. This is what happened. You know what I mean? And then people can judge me all they want, but that's on them.
I'll be honest. We were talking about trailers before, and the trailer back in the 90s for Fight Club turned me off the movie entirely. I was not going to watch Fight Club at all. And then I accidentally turned it on. It was either on HBO or Cinemax. And I came in about 10 minutes into the movie, and within 30 seconds, I was hooked. So my pre-perception of the film, my response to the trailer and the publicity might be absolutely incorrect, and they may have just messed up on the publicity. So I'll be honest, I honestly a lot of times have to see the film before I can give an honest evaluation. But oh man,
well, I mean,
Eternals, no, there was everything you thought was going to happen happened.
No, I'm not going to go see that. If Mark D with a C said he hated that, I'm like, wow, really? He said it was. Actually, I think that might have been the most worst things he said about a movie that I've seen him do. Maybe there are other ones, but I can't remember one that he's downplayed the most.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have gone and seen it if I had never even known him.
Yeah.
I just had no intentions with all the stuff that's been going on. And, you know, obviously we talk about that for days, but I think I'm going to wrap it up. What do you think?
Okay.
Anything on your mind other than that, though? Or?
No, just a fantastic first stream. You did a great job, particularly considering the fact that, as you mentioned, it is incredibly hot and humid where you are living right now. And I really, really appreciate that you invited me on. I'm very grateful. And it was a wonderful chat to have. Wonderful chat.
Oh, well, you're amazing as always, your knowledge and everything like that. I think it helped me tremendously, especially with the chat, you know, being new. You know, I've been around for a while. It's always different when you're leading it. There's a lot of things I would have done, but it would have probably taken me another week or two to learn how to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like pulling up a Godzilla clip and pulling up a picture of Ishiro Honda. All those things I would have done, which would have made this like an unbelievable stream, right? With you guys talking and stuff like that. You know, like pulling up a biopic with Honda and stuff like that. Those are things I wanted to do, but I'm like, okay, I got to get started. I got to get going. You know, I know how to do
step at a time, man.
I can't keep telling people I'm going to do this and do this and do this and not. I'll give it another week or another. Ice Pirates is still on hold.
Yep.
Because I wanted to learn how to do all of those, and I text someone to see if they would help me. They haven't got back to me, because I know they can do things like I'd emailed you like Nick's Toxic Tuesday. He has somebody who helps him with all the pictures and moving and stills and all that kind of stuff. So I might ask them to help me with the Ice Pirates until I can learn how to do it. But I think that's going to be a hilarious. JT saw it. He laughed. He was laughing.
Oh, he did?
So
he liked it?
Yeah, I was on the phone with him and he laughed. He said it was so bad. And he said that while he was
laughing. It is not
out
so
loud.
bad. He
said it lovingly. He said it lovingly and he was laughing so hard. A good
It is
laugh.
a wonderful movie.
I think he liked it. I think he really liked it. And you know, he didn't trash it. He didn't say it was bad.
Okay.
Like, oh, that's terrible. No. He said he was laughing so loud and he said, oh, it's so bad. But I was like, oh, I knew you'd love it. And he just kept laughing.
But dude, just as a teaser for your new audience, when we talk about Ice Pirates, Angelica Houston. Enough said.
Enough said. Well, I'm going to go back when I start doing my old school Battlestar Galactica as well. Jane Seymour was in the Sinbad, and whew, those legs, wow.
Yeah, Golden Voyage of Sinbad. Yes.
Now, wasn't that with Tom Baker, or was he in the other one?
Yes, he, in Golden Voyage of Sinbad, Tom Baker played the villain, and he did one of the best villains you ever have seen, which led to him playing the hero in Doctor Who. And he was magnificent in Golden Voyage. I got to see that as a kid in the theater.
So good in that movie, dude. I didn't recognize him at first. I said, I kind of know that face. I kind of know that guy. Wait a second. No freaking way. I know him from somewhere. And then it dawned on me later. But that's the kind of acting that was so good. You know, we could stream about this too. Like I remember when John Pertwee, or is it Sean?
Yes.
John Pertwee. When he left, when I think it's Romana, I can't remember the one girl. It was the military, one of the English military episodes. And when she leaves to stay with that guy, she decides to stay with him because she fell in love with him or whatever.
That was Joe. Joe Grant. So Joe Grant was the main companion to John Pertwee, who was the third Doctor, and Romano was one of the later companions with Tom Baker, who was the fourth Doctor, who we're talking about.
And these are the kind of things that I wanted to stream a long time ago about that scene, her last episode, right? When you talk about how good acting is compared to some of the just god awful stuff we've gotten.
Yeah.
They didn't even speak. John Pertwee didn't even really speak at the end. I don't know if you remember this.
I do.
But if I remember it correctly, they're in front of this little building, a little hut, house, apartment type of thing, English countryside type thing, right? With the door. He's inside the door. She's looking at him. They hug.
Yeah.
He walks out. They don't even say anything, Hungry. He gets in the Jeep and just drives off into the sunset.
And that is good British drama. Good British drama in a sci-fi show. Yes.
Yeah. How phenomenal was that? And I remember it gives me chills now. It's like, now that was excellent directing. They didn't even talk for like the last 3 minutes.
It still breaks my heart. And as Buddy, who's still with us, thank you, Buddy. He brings up that Sarah Jane Smith comes up. Buddy's still here.
Wow,
Buddy brings up Sarah Jane Smith, and a lot of people love Sarah Jane Smith even more than Joe Grant. She starts up with John Pertwee, and then she's got to get freaked out when John Pertwee becomes Tom Baker because of the regeneration.
But it's the acting. It's the acting I'm getting at, Hungry. That whole scene.
All of them are great.
Was just, it gives me chills. I was like, why can't you have more of that? You know?
But then
I'm a huge music guy, but God, how much do they overuse music, especially in these action scenes? It's terrible. The music's good, but it's just so overused. It's that's going to be another stream I can do and talk. And they have Buddy, if you're on X, try to find me on Twitter or something like that. You can have Buddy on the show, right? Hungry.
I have said, Buddy can attest to this. I've wanted Buddy on a stream for a while now, a long while. But Buddy knows his Doctor Who, Buddy knows his kaiju, Buddy knows his comic books. And yeah, I mean, Sarah Jane Smith, that was also it wasn't as heart-rending an ending, but when Sarah Jane gets let go by Tom Baker's doctor, that was a very sad, bittersweet moment as well.
Yeah,
when she says,
he
dropped her off in the wrong suburb.
Dropped her off in the wrong street or something. Yeah, I remember she got the luggage.
Wrong neighborhood. Wrong neighborhood.
And then
she's going to have to get the bus home.
Yeah, she looks back and it freeze frames, right? And then they play the theme. Yeah, I remember that one. I'm glad you brought that up. I almost forgot about that because I haven't seen every single episode. I might have to just get the BBC channel so I can avoid all the damn commercials. Pluto TV was what I was thinking about. They have a lot of stuff, but sometimes the commercials, man. The other day I was watching something and had six of them. So I go to Tubi. Tubi has all the classic Doctor Who's. If I didn't tell you before, they have them all. And you can pick them out one at a time, and their commercials aren't too bad. Pardon the pun.
They're not too bad.
Or you can just get BBC and crush it. Pay for the BBC and watch it, and then you're done. Or just buy them.
I'm putting something in the private chat. Do not repeat it publicly, please. Okay. All right. Just okay. There we go. That's in the private chat.
Okay. I got you.
Because the thing is with that place, and I'm not going to mention the name, people put up things all the time, like all the great Japanese versions, sometimes in 1.5 GB for the original Japanese kaiju movies. Okay. But every so often they go bye-bye. So we don't want to draw attention to them because we don't want them to be taken down. You know, we want that to be available.
And what's the one kaiju with the two brother monsters fighting each other? Because
the Gargantuas.
Gargantuans.
War of the Gargantuas. War of the Gargantuas.
War of the Gargantuans. I always thought that was a pretty schlocky one, but good. But
the uncut Japanese one is not as schlocky, and they do actually eat people. I'm sorry to say.
Oh yeah, the one dude eats people. and the other guy
Yeah.
gets mad about it, right?
Gyra's the green one, the underwater one, and the amphibian one. And there's that awful scene, which is awful but beautifully done, when I think he's at the airport, and he just picks up that woman in the yellow dress.
Yep.
And he starts munching her, and then we just see him spit out something, and we see this bloody red dress with a couple of bones hit the ground, and I'm like, wow, you guys in Japan go hard. You go hard.
Yeah.
Especially for the 1960s. That's hard.
Yeah, that's like, well, now we'll spoil alert a little bit. Buddy's here, and he's obviously seen the hetero stuff. I didn't want to say it, spoil it. You know, just leaving the smoking, ashy skeletons with bare skin, whatever's left on them.
Yeah.
You know, that the acid ate these people, and that's why I was like, I'm not a fuddy duddy, but I wouldn't let 7 or 8 year olds watch that, or 6-year-olds. You know what I mean? To show you,
I was 6 when I
family
saw it.
time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't know how old. I mean, you have to judge on your own kids, right? I guess it's no bloody. It's not a bloody scene, but it really was. The first time you see it, you're like, oh, you're going there with this now. Okay. All right.
But for a film before 1972, that's a really harsh thing in something that's become a child beloved series, a franchise. And what kids did not know, I did not know this, I learned it later when I was about 12 or 11 and studying history, is that you can have acid in a gas form, like mustard gas in World War I.
Yep.
And that's going to burn your face, it's going to burn your lungs, and this was like a horrible version of mustard gas. And you just see this moment in Godzilla versus Hedorah, and you just think this is messed up. This is so messed up.
Well, yeah, that's what I was getting at. If you're kind of like, oh my god, because they were like smoking. They weren't just like the bleach white bones laying there, right? It was smoking bones with stuff still hanging on to them. And you're like, oh wow, like I was saying, you really went there, didn't you, Toho?
Oh, yeah. Well, at the beginning of the movie, I don't know if you saw this in your version, but in the version I saw, at the beginning of the film, you remember the dad of the kid is the guy testing the pollution in the water and testing the sea life for the reaction of the sea life to the pollution in the water. And Hedorah, in its tiny version, when it's first like a little baby Hedorah, it's only about 1.5 feet long. It flies out of the water and it's all slimy and nasty. It goes right across his face, and his face is ruined. It is ruined. It's like Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Oh,
it reminds me of The Blob.
Yeah.
And that came out, Steve McQueen, right? So
the first one was, I believe, 1957. I may be wrong. It may be 58. But the second version, which was much nastier, was either 87 or 88. I'd have to look it up on the net.
Yeah.
But there was an Italian version of The Blob before The Blob, which you probably haven't seen.
No, I know. I still haven't seen that one movie you linked to me the other day. I had to pull it up on my emails.
But you would like this Italian version of The Blob, which came out a little bit before, well, not in America, but it came out in Italy. It was made in Italy before The Blob. It was made by Mario Bava, who did not get credit as a director, but he was the director. And it's called Kaltiki, the Immortal Monster. Hey, Tina!
I know.
Hello, Tina! Tina! Wonderful. And look, here's the thing, okay? Kaltiki is a mid-late 1950s horror flick, right? The Blob is a late 1950s horror flick. But if I have a choice of a hot, sultry, dark-haired Italian woman in a movie versus a Doris Day from the 1950s, you know where I'm going. You know what I'm going to choose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still PG-13. I'm only implying. I'm not saying.
Yeah,
But
you know, take a Monica Bellucci.
Kaltiki has got this great dissolving scene before the 1960s of what the blob does to people. And I recommend it to everybody. And it brings up a whole bunch of, oh yes, Tina, I'm sorry, Tina, you missed Uncle.
We went on for about what, an hour 50 on that one. So
Yeah.
from the beginning, the Godzilla is about an hour and 50, Tina. So, oh, thank you so much. If you want to watch it, let me show her real quick.
Thank you, Tina.
Let me show her.
Yeah, show Tina while she's here. Yes.
Yeah, so that's the front, and Tina, some of the art. That's all the Blu-rays in the back. Just real quickly, so you can see what we went through.
Show her the mecha page.
Oh, the mecha one. It's the first 15 movies, except the American version of Godzilla. That's not in here because this is Japanese import, even though it's written in English, which is good, right? Yeah, so that's Godzilla, Mechagodzilla, stuff like that. We went through each one, just talking and showing the artwork, and so it's pretty good. So if you don't have it, you might want to pick it up.
And also, Tina, we talked about each movie individually also, if you want to know about the movies. But you can fast forward us old dumbasses talking about that and just listen to Dave talking about the art.
Yeah.
Which is the most important part of the show.
Yeah, I was actually unwrapping it for the collection. But they went through each one. It was really cool. It's a really, really nice box set. So, I don't know.
And they show a great amount of respect to each of these movies, and there's just something wonderful, classical, and magical about 1954 to the mid 70s. There's just, I know they're incredibly different from Godzilla versus Megalon, obviously, from the original the first two Godzilla movies, but the magic is still there all the way through.
Yeah. I mean, Megalon, they figured, oh, okay, I had to bring in the other people just to carry it, right? Bring in the other guys, the Jet Jaguar and stuff, right? Introduced him. That's the same. That we got the right movie this time, right? I got the right one.
Yeah. But the thing is, there are going to be some goofy things that Tina has to worry about, and Buddy already knows about. So sometimes we're dealing with space aliens. Now, sometimes they are ape creatures. They're ape creatures, right? And they get revealed as ape creatures. And sometimes, I kid you not, chat, they are cockroaches. They are actual cockroaches. So Buddy knows what I mean.
For Tina, for Buddy and Hungry there, that they brought up, or you brought up, I guess, Hungry, that one of these, or then JT said maybe another one, has actually been featured on MST 3000.
Two of them.
And I was like, what? No.
So the Japanese, shape-shifting alien cockroaches. That's right, buddy. Yeah. The first one they did was Ibira Horror of the Deep, otherwise known in the American version as Godzilla versus the Sea Monster. And then MST3K also did Godzilla versus Megalon. And they did a great job, Tina. The humor was fantastic. You'd love it. I'm pretty sure, I don't know, but I think Buddy has seen both of those, and they are funny. They're very, very funny. Now, obviously, I wish that MST3K had a better sound system back then, so we could hear the jokes more easily. But Dave? Hello, Dave. Where's Dave? Oh, I do not like being here on my own. Dave. Oh, dear God. Okay, well, yeah, I mean, shape-shifting alien cockroaches, I mean, for obvious reasons, Buddy, that's going to bring me up to Kafka, and you know what I mean. And that Metamorphosis by Kafka was a very creepy book. But I mean the shape-shifting cockroaches in a certain Gojira film, that was actually quite creepy. Sorry,
Yeah.
we were bemoaning your lack of presence on screen, Dave.
I left it up. I just needed to get some water. Sorry.
Yeah.
Just yeah, I don't even realize I'm having so much fun. I didn't realize it. We're at 250 already. It's like, wow. And you know my situation. I'm good to go, and I love it. In Tina and Buddy, our Buddy has been a super warrior tonight, man.
Oh yeah. Oh hell
Super
yeah.
warrior. And I wanted to thank. They're not here, but I wanted to thank him, Buddy, and Tina. But my friends, they came through tonight, man. A bunch of them showed up. My friend, I told you, his sister came, his daughter came in, her husband came in, chatted. My friend from the Marine Corps came in, and a few other people came in just to say hi. So thanks for being here. Help carry me through my first one.
You did magnificently, though. I mean, there was no kerfuffle. You had no discombobulation whatsoever.
I appreciate it. I just having the camera with that thing is so huge. You know, it's like I know she saw it, but Tina, look at this damn thing.
It's good art, Tina.
It's as Nick would say, huge. But
Huge.
other than that, without having a separate camera and all that set up, like I said, I hope to get where I can pull up funny clips or funny pictures or even get into more. Because you know who I'd like to do as a feature, Hungry, Tina, Buddy. I think you should know this. Let me do this real quick. Who would I want to do a feature on?
Oh my God. John Carpenter, Lopan, Kurt Russell.
Well, who's David Lopan?
Man.
James Hong. Yeah, I would love to. You know, he's like almost 100, I think now. God forbid. Knock on wood, right?
Right.
I know he's in his 90s. He has to be. He has to be. He knew Charlie Chaplin or some shit like that. I don't know, something like that. His bio is huge. What did she say? I'll be here for any other one. Oh, that's awesome, Tina. Thank you.
That's a good one.
Well, Tina,
Lopan is one of my favorite villains in movies of all time, and I'm still pissed off to this day that Big Trouble in Little China did not do as well at the box office as it deserved to do. Just like Ice Pirates.
Yeah. I'm trying to share my Twitter X with Tina.
That sounded really non-PG-13 for a moment.
Yeah, but she knows my channel here. So anything that I do live, I'll try to put out ahead of time. That way people will see it. And then Tina, if you're on Twitter, my handle is @BlueMorphoDaveC. It's a weird one. So I don't know if you know anybody else. I'll try to find you. I don't even know how to link stuff yet. Just to, unless you Hungry, you link it to your private chat, and then I can post it. That's what I did with JT and Dad.
What do you want me to link? What?
My Twitter handle.
All right, give me a moment.
I don't even know how to do it. I can type it in, but it's not going to link. So I'll learn how to do that later.
Well, I mean, Tina is she's following me on Twitter, so if I just put your link on my Twitter openly,
she follows you.
Yeah.
Well, then I should be able to try to follow her, right?
Yeah, just give me a moment. Hold on. I type one finger at a time. Dave sees Tweety for all our fab friends. And there we go. Exclamation mark. And now I punch in your link. and post. And that should be done.
Awesome. And she said she found it already.
That's because I type so slow, Tina. I'm sorry.
Already subbed. Thank you.
Right on, Tina. Right on.
And I will try to do the same for you here if I can figure it out.
You don't have to worry about me. You don't have to worry about me, bro. I'm just here for the conversations between pals. You know what? Growing my Tweety does not matter. Growing my YouTube does not matter to me. I'm just happy to be here on these discussions. That's all that matters to me.
Nice. Nice. I'll check that later. Cool. Well, I guess I'm going to wrap this up.
Yeah. Oh, look, dude.
3 hours.
Dude. I mean, is the air conditioning on or is it still off?
It's on. It's been rolling the whole time. It's been. I must be generating some heat here.
You're glistening, dude. You're glistening. I think you need to get some sleep.
It's the lighting. It's the distance of my camera it'll auto adjust, and I've been going out and get lots of sun lately. So
yeah.
So, but damn, Tina, sorry you got here. But I think I'm gonna wrap this up. Go get something to eat.
You need some food. Yeah, I was gonna say you need some food.
Yeah. I actually look better on my other laptop where I'm watching the show live on YouTube than this. This is all red, right?
I know.
It's not coming off that red on the YouTube side. A little bit, but not as bad as I'm looking at here. Like I've just been out in the sun for 5 hours. Right? Like it almost matches, but it's a little better on the YouTube side. So yeah, I just need better lighting.
Let me have a look. Let me have a look. 1 sec. We're still live. Oh yeah, no, I mean I see what you're talking about. I see what you're talking about. The StreamYard side, yeah, it's not doing you any favors. Why do you think I use an avatar?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean that looks great. Go back 2.
It's a little bit actually.
That looks great.
The lighting up a little bit. Now that I know it looks a little better on the YouTube side, I can fudge with it on the back of the backstage side. So, Agent Atwood. Oh wow.
Hey, Atwood.
Hey. Thanks for being here. Just like it would get ready to wrap up and people start popping in. It's awesome.
Yeah, that happens to Dad Man too. It does.
Oh yeah.
But you will learn when you need sleep and food. And this is no offense to the chat, but we've been going for nearly 3 hours now.
We need to I don't have anything to do. You need some sleep, hungry is what you need.
Yeah,
if anybody doesn't know, he's been up a day.
Yeah. Oh God, that's right. It's more than 25 hours now. Holy damn.
It's +2 plus. Well, I don't know which side of the country you're on. Anywhere from +2, and then add 12 forward for us.
Yeah.
So it's Wednesday or almost Thursday for you, isn't it?
Not quite. We'll be coming up on
1 o'clock
Thursday.
1 o'clock a.m.
PM.
When PM? Let's see.
Yeah.
11 here. That puts you at 1 a.m. plus 12. Yeah. 1 p.m. Yeah. Yep. So Agent Atwood, yes, I play a little bit of Fortnite with Agent Atwood, hang out with him with Dad Man. So it is. Thanks for being here, man. Yeah, this is the face. The lighting isn't all that great. I'm actually moving in my apartment in 3 weeks. So I'm not really trying to be hanging stuff on the walls. And once I get settled in there, I'll feng shui that place to where I can stream without having to move couches around. You should see I had to move couches, and I've got my desk angled at a corner.
Look, all I care about is you have that magnificent poster behind your shoulder. That's what I care about.
Yeah, I can move it a little bit closer because it is a Godzilla theme. This is the -1 for Tina, Agent, and Buddy. I know you saw it before. If he's still around, it's lenticular. It's a 3D. So I'll go as big a screen as I can. You see how that light is beaming through there? That's because that 3D. Look, that's all I do. Is boom it over, and it's got the
logo
and everything on the bottom, and then it has it. You can't see it very well, but right here it has the same thing in Japanese, in kanji, katakana, and hiragana. What I do remember from Japanese language, right here, directed by, I think that's him right there, and it goes down. If I'm reading it correctly, I'm pointing the opposite way. But do you see the head move?
Yes.
And then the sun.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And then look at that angle with his face right there.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. Let's make sure I didn't stick this into the fan. And then the ship, the fire moves. Like it's on fire with the smoke. So
that is great art.
I got this on sale, dude. It was awesome. On sale and first time buyer type stuff.
Well, my pal, my compadre, we are now at 3 hours. I think it's time for you to get some rest and some food.
I'll not rest. I'm gonna grab some food, probably watch some TV. Who knows? You know, but yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up definitely. And dude, you have been so awesome.
Thank you.
And your knowledge of everything is so cool. And buddy, you crushed it. If you're still out there, and Tina, thanks for popping in, and Agent as well. I'm sure we will run into each other. And if you guys don't know, Dadman is doing that show on Wednesday for the Wrath of Khan at 9 Eastern, and having JT on there, JT Kirk. So that's going to be a good one.
Oh, it's going to be magnificent because it's going to be one of the rare occasions, and I say this with love to JT, where he is going to have nothing but good things to say. Because you heard some of those conversations, and you were on some of those conversations.
I was on some of them
with Buck Rogers.
I was there for the origin story of this stream coming up on Wednesday. You were,
yeah.
We all were. You, me, JT, Masters Maniac, and I think I can't remember, somebody else was there. New Year's Eve, I think it would have been, right? Or another
origin story, as they would say in Marvel comic books.
We know the origin story for this Wednesday. So Agent wants to know if you actually like that movie.
Wrath of Khan? Oh, Agent. It is one of my favorite movies of all time. No compunctions whatsoever. I think it stands alone as a magnificent movie, magnificently acted, magnificently directed, and magnificently presented, even outside of the sci-fi spectrum. It is just a great movie for anyone to see, just like Star Wars 1977.
Oh, yeah. Not that one. This one. Let me do it the right way. Oh, and by the way, ditto for me. Wrath of Khan is phenomenal.
Yes.
That one. That's Star Wars. So, yeah, Wrath of Khan is... I need to get it on Blu-ray. Actually, I don't even have a copy of it anymore. I want to get like a bonus special type deal with it. And maybe do a review on that one.
Why not?
Or something, right?
Why not?
But yeah, it's something I want to definitely go back and get a new one on Blu-ray or something like that, just to have it, just to have it. So yeah, it's and I remember Agent with my age, and Hungry knows my age, that I used to watch Fantasy Island.
Okay? Right, so did I. So yes,
yeah. For
not the new one, not the new one.
No. Ricardo Montalban.
Yes.
In Hervé Villages. I said
Yes.
it. The plane, boss, the plane.
And so many wonderful, magnificent character actors coming onto that show. Just like, I mean, the thing about Fantasy Island is it had the weird element to it, but it was like the Love Boat, but with weird elements. And there were times where there were some good elements of the Love Boat as well. But Fantasy Island had some really good scripts, but they had great character actors. And let's be honest, and Tina, I know you're not going to complain about me saying this. Fantasy Island had a lot of gorgeous women in it back in the 70s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, Dave. You know what
I'm thinking
mean.
of Charlie's Angels. And
oh, yeah.
Jane Seymour. Jane Seymour, one of my favorites. Battlestar Galactica. Woo. The original.
Jane Seymour. I adore Jane Seymour. But Kate from Charlie's Angels, I know she was the naughty one. I know she was the mean one, but man, yeah, she did it for me. And I mean, it's also like, going back to Doctor Who at the end of the 70s, right? The end of the 70s, 1979 to 1980. I like the original Romana, Mary Tam, the dark-haired one, elegant, wearing furs.
Yeah, but
wearing
we're
boots.
talking about Bo Derek, Sophia Loren, Monica Bellucci, who's older now,
Oh.
but back then. I'm talking Jane Seymour, all these older character women were smoking hot back then, man. That's all you can say about
Loren.
They were just they had that sultry look to them,
Smoky eyes.
Some of the old black and white pictures of the older leading actresses, and damn, I punch myself for this one blonde, not Marilyn Monroe, but this one very short blonde. I can't think of her name, but wow, just you know what I mean? Just wow. So, all right, man. I think we should just cut this off.
I'm sorry to do it, but I think it must happen.
It must happen. So I will do the official. Where's my notes? Okay. Thanks to everyone in the chat, in the guests, for the three people watching. Thank you so much, Tina, Agent, Buddy, and everybody else who came in and support me. And thank you, Hungry. And with that, I will say
sayonara.
Goodbye. Sayonara.